You glorious bastards. Right now I'm rocking my Terrence Pop t-shirt that says I want you to beer me. Got Battle Dwarf, an evil button monkey pusher, monkey pushing buttons, evil hairless monkey, whatever his name is. You know the ones. So if you like the beer me t-shirt, check out Redonkulous.com's merchandise. There is currently a thunderstorm going on outside. And I tell you what, YouTube, I enjoy thunderstorms, especially in the summertime. It just hits different, you know. But anyways, I've been trying to do this video response for ages, and I keep messing up on it, so I'm going to do my best here. And right now we're going to be doing a gender-based relations rant. Because the title of Shoe on Head's newest video is The Male Loser Epidemic. And it's like, oh, here we fucking go. A bunch of women bitching because they can't get dick. So, we might need something a little stiff to do this video. And put my pipe down here. I have some Arizona iced raspberry tea. Delicious. When I hit that with some Nikolai, 1 second. A little bit of tea. And then, of course, a splash of the old potato juice. Things are about to get Andrew Dicey Clay, you know what I'm saying? See what I did there? Okay. And, of course, the Nikolai vodka. As far as cheap vodka goes, this is my favorite one. It's smooth and it's cheap. I get a bottle like this size for like 12, 13 bucks. But that's not bad. Oh, drink combo. And thank you to the fans who sent this Skull Cup. I absolutely love it. I drink out of it every day. Oh, Mother Nature's symphony of... There it goes. Oh yeah, thunderstorms. Yeehaw. Okay. So while we enjoy our vodka and tea, we're going to enjoy the thunderstorm brewing outside. And, of course, doing a video response.
Hello again, friends. Sorry I've been gone for quite a bit. Hopefully nothing too crazy happened. I feel like every time I take a break, like, a war breaks out or something, but thankfully that did not happen. But at least we found out the real Epstein files were the friends we made along the way.
Fuck Jeffrey Epstein. I watched Blair White do a video on an Epstein survivor, and she interviewed her. And it was pretty freaking hard to watch. Jeffrey Epstein's a piece of shit, in my opinion, but it's neither here nor there.
Welcome back to the Shoe on Head channel. If it is your first time here, run. I am Shoe on Head and...
Run. Can't catch me, because I'm not the gingerbread man.
This channel I like to cover cultural issues, mostly surrounding men's issues.
Cultural issues? You're saying our society has issues? No, not in the slightest. And why I like Shoe on Head, she's not just because she's pretty, but because she also cares about men's issues. Something most women don't really give a shit about. But then they expect you to care about their issues. And it's like, well, treat others the way you want to be treated. The only reason why I care about women's issues and what have you is because nobody gives a fuck about my rights or my issues because I'm a straight, white, hetero, cis-normative male. It just is what it is.
But I've been doing for over a decade, and frankly, I'm exhausted. Many of you have been along for the ride, and you have seen me go from a chipper, lively 24-year-old making fun of BuzzFeed and Tumblr feminists to a bitter, calloused 34-year-old talking about very real and growing men's issues. One of the main men's issues...
Well, how do you like them apples? Me and Shoe on Head are the same age. Winning.
have been covering in great detail lately has been the male loneliness.
No, I'm not going to try anything with Shoe on Head because she is spoken for and she already has demon spawn of her own, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but
I'm saying Shoe on Head's a MILF. Yeah.
I was wrong. We don't have a male loneliness epidemic. We have a male loser epidemic. It's not a male loneliness epidemic. No, it's a male mediocrity epidemic.
So when women are lonely, no one gives them shit about it? You ever notice that, like, when men are voluntarily celibate or involuntarily celibate, that they get so much crap for it? You're a loser, you're an incel, you're a faggot. Then as soon as they try to get laid, they get told they're a creep and they were a rapist and this and that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's disgusting.
Loser epidemic.
The male loser epidemic has gotten so bad that it's honestly so pathetic at this.
You know what's pathetic is that your attitude towards men, that's what's pathetic.
2025 IRS tax forgiveness now has open enrollment. It's easy to qualify. Get up to 99% of tax debt forgiven. It's time for a fresh start. Click below and qualify to.
Now, I don't always talk about men's issues. No, sometimes I talk about politics, and sometimes I mix the two together. Now, I know a lot of...
Oh God, politics are so annoying.
You don't like politics. You don't care about politics. But politics cares about you, and it will enter your life no matter how hard you try to avoid it. But thankfully, I have the perfect app to help you navigate this difficult, confusing political landscape. So let's quickly give a shout out to today's sponsor, Ground News, before we get into this video, shall we? Ground News is a website and an app that gives readers a fun and transparent way to read the news from all across the political spectrum, from left, right, and center. 40% off their Vantage plan, which is the plan I use to access all of their amazing features. This comes out to only like $5 a month, which is like the price of a coffee. So go to ground.news/shoe or use the QR code right there on screen or the link in the video description down there to subscribe to Ground News today. I feel like what they're doing is really important, especially right now, and it helps us approach the news in a more fair and balanced way. So thank you to Ground News for sponsoring this video, and thank you, the viewer, for not skipping the ad. Right? Now, let's get back to the video. With all these issues men are facing, they seem to be moving to the right and the Republicans more, since the left and Democrats have essentially just become the young men eat and die movement. Months ago, I covered how the Democratic Party was losing young men, and I predicted Kamala Harris would lose in part because of young men overwhelmingly voting for Trump.
The reason why is because the second I heard Kamala Harris say everyone just needs to be woke, I wanted to throw up in my fucking mouth, YouTube. Here's the thing of it. YouTube. It's good to be informed on the issues and be a little bit politically sensitive to certain topics, but at the same time, the problem with the woke culture is that they talk down to you like you're stupid, like you got a small dick, like they're Jesus Christ floating above everyone else and they're better than you because they're woke and you're not. And that's what I'm condescending, I'm better than you attitude that these woke assholes have. People are just honestly sick of it. And then we have that same attitude shoved into our movies. And it's like, I don't go to the movies to be preached at like I'm a piece of shit because I'm white, straight, cisgendered, and a male. I go to the movies because I want to be entertained. But that's a rant for a different video.
And I was correct. Well, now the Democrats have unveiled their final solution to the right-wing male loser epidemic. Democrats spending millions to learn how to speak to American men and win back the working class. Democrats have blown millions of dollars on efforts to appeal to American men who turned to President Donald Trump in droves on Election Day in hopes of winning back the working class. Democrats have spent $20 million on their efforts, with donors and strategists holding up in luxury hotel rooms, brainstorming how to convince working class men to return to the party. Ah yes, nothing more relatable to working class men than luxury hotel rooms. Great job, guys. The plan? Codename SAM, or Speaking with American Men, a strategic plan. Actually listen to men? I listen to men for free all the time. All I have to do is read my comment section. Let's see here. Shoe on Head is a perfect example of why we need to repeal the 19th. Greetings from Albania. I hate women so much it's unreal. Ooh, shoo, mommy, milkies, 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 mommy, mommy, mommy. One time I got my penis stuck in a soda bottle. Okay, on second thought, maybe my comment section is not the best source.
Since Trump scored big.
That was loud. Woo, that got me, let me jump a little bit. And I was like, damn, that was close. I did say there was a thunderstorm going outside, and I love summertime thunderstorms, but I digress. That'll get your blood pumping a little bit. Woo! I love the smell of rain, too. That's just a wonderful smell. Yeah, that's a thunderstorm, folks. Glorious. Okay, so some clam on The View shooting off her mouth. We'll get into that. Let's see what she has to say. Hold up.
Young male voters last
Joy Behar, whatever her stupid name is.
Democrats are spending $20 million to learn how to speak their language. I think it's a waste of money. Maybe these guys should spend their money on teaching men to not be such sexists. Maybe.
Oh, here we fucking... This is what pissed me off about this woman. This whole, we gotta teach our boys not to rape. We gotta teach our boys not to be sexist. Fuck you to the moon. I am so sick and tired of all the negative publicity that men get. This idea that all men are rapists, all men are serial killers, all men are sexist. Wham. And no offense to this broad over here. I'll only take a sip of my vodka and tea while we listen to the thunderstorm. It's like, oh, we gotta teach men not to be sexist. Like, why is it? Why is it that rape and sexism is only called out when men do it? And why the fuck, when women do it, it never gets called out? Why is it? And I'll tell you why men don't call women out on their hypocrisy, because they want to sleep with them. It is what it is. Thunderstorms. I love thunderstorms. My favorite kind of weather. And that one bolt was loud, dude, and super fucking close. I was like, whoa, holy shit.
The stats don't bear that out now that
Even showing heads just like, nope. This idea that all men are sexist, all men are rapists, all men want is sex, all men are pigs. I'm just so exhausted of hearing it. As a man, I hate rape more than I hate mongooses. You know, I would shoot my dick off in front of Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of Darkness, to end rape and sickos. That's how disgusted I am by this shit. This idea that all men are pigs, you know. As a man, I'm sick and tired of hearing it. And you can't call women out on their bullshit, because then they accuse you of being a raging, misogynistic, sexist, incel pig. Wham. So, like, if I call you a femcel because you can't get dick, and you hate men, that's why you fucking can't get laid. I mean, the majority of these women who aren't getting any dick and they're starting to get pissed off about it, the first thing that comes out of their mouth is, men are trash. And, we'll get into that. Oh, segue, we'll get into that.
Look at what young women have to choose from.
Ooh, Tommy Loren, how you doing, honey? Tommy Loren's that pretty blonde on Fox News. I'm more like Fox News, if you know what I mean.
Things are slim. Yes, we might have a feminism problem in America, but it's the feminization of men.
Can I stop you right there for a second, Tommy Loren, sweetheart? Can I shut your pretty mouth for a second? The feminization of men is not the problem. The problem with this is women will complain and minge on, why can't you be more effeminate? Why can't you show your feminine side? Why can't you be in touch with your sensitive side? And the second we do it, you tell us to quit being faggots and man the fuck up. And the second we do it, oh, now it's toxic masculinity. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Of young women out there that want to get married, they want to have kids, they want to have stable families, but they're...
And you know why men are not doing that, Tommy Loren? Because men are realizing that marriage is not worth the squeeze. The very same women who love to bitch and complain because the minimum wage gap is sexist, well, will not say a fucking word when men are getting graped in the courts for support payments because the justice system does not give a shit about men. It just is what it is.
A lot of young men out there who want to live in mama's basement and order DoorDash.
Oh no. The very night I was sitting on my couch writing the script to my video about how the Democrats are spending $20 million to relate to young men, this came on my TV on Fox News. A Tommy Loren and Laura Ingraham segment about stay-at-home sons, men who still live at home. Literally minutes after this aired.
See, I love how, like, Tommy Loren can give men shit for, like, living at home. And I'm like, you don't even know their story, Chica. Hey, Toots, you don't know their fucking story, you know what I'm saying? Maybe they're stuck paying student loans, or maybe the cost of living is going up. I'm just saying, when I got kicked out of my last apartment, and I was looking for another place at the time, there are people who were charging like $1,000 a month just for a one-bedroom apartment. It's like, I'm very grateful to have this house that my dad bought me. I love him to death. But, even this house cost my dad like $40,000. So I'm just saying, like, housing and everything, it's all very expensive.
It went absolutely viral on Twitter for not good reasons. So we are going to unpack this piece by piece. Because even though everyone was mocking it and making fun of it, as far as I saw, nobody was really dissecting it and
See, unlike Jessica Boyle, who's stuck living at home with mommy and daddy, she has no job, no ambition whatsoever. And before you call me a fucking hypocrite for bashing her on this, it's the truth. She treats her parents like crap, and if I treated my parents like that, my dad wouldn't put up with it. I'm just saying.
Down exactly why she was so egregiously wrong. So come join me in debunking the male loser epidemic. Because who else better equipped to talk about men's issues than two stupid blonde bimbos? Hold on one second. 3 stupid blonde bimbos. Sorry. I felt left out. Alright, let's go. Wait!
She puts on a blonde wig. You're a smartass.
I need my gamer fuel. See? I do drink it. That one's for you, Tectone.
It's a major problem. And Speaker Johnson has been talking about those.
And like, if women were stuck living at home with their parents and they were in a financial rough spot, and men were calling them losers and cunts and this and that, and broke-ass bitches who just want dick and take no responsibility for their shitty actions. Men would be attacked for being sexist and being mean and shut up, you don't know her story. And the answer is, you're right. But when it comes to like Jessica Boyle, I got her figured out to a T, and she is an insufferable 304. You know what I'm saying? You know, I like how Jessica Boyle is sitting here harassing my buddy Exhumed Visions and my buddy Deathbed Tapes because she's so bitter about the fucking breakup and she's getting no closure over it. Because you cannot have a conversation with Jessica Boyle. She just wants to hear herself talk. It's what it is. I should know. I used to fucking date her. And I'm just like, no. People are like, hey, Josh, you should get back with Jessica Boyle. She loves you, Joshy. I'm like, no. How about no? I would rather go asexual than get back with that wretched evil woman. Evil woman. You know the song I'm referencing. Jessica Boyle spends all day in her parents' house drinking and bitching about her ex. And bitching about Jessica Messica. She has 8 fucking cats that she can't afford to take care of. Jessica Boyle has like 6 to 8 cats that she cannot afford to take care of. Her parents pretty much buy all the cat food and this and that. And I feel sorry for Jessica Boyle's parents to a point, but at the same time, they enable her. Like, Jessica Boyle's a grown-ass woman. There's no excuses for her not to have a job in her own place by now. I'm just saying. And that being said, because Jessica Boyle's in Boxed Wine and Catland, we gotta play the song. As I am wearing a Terrence Pop t-shirt, winning! Boxed Wine and Catland.
Stop! Don't touch me there! This is my no-no square! Stop! Don't touch me there! This is my no-no square! Stop!
Redonkulous.com. Get you a shirt. I wanted to support the regiment, and when the morning I got this t-shirt in my mail, I called my friend Angie to check up on her and Walt, and then that's when I found out my buddy Walt died, and Walt's death has been really emotionally hard on me. I feel so horrible for his wife and daughter. I would never wish this upon people I care about or that I'm protective of. But my buddy Walt, God rest his soul, was a Vietnam vet who contracted Agent Orange as a sniper for the Marines in Vietnam. And he chain smoked like a chimney. My buddy Walt loves his cigarettes like I love my booze. My buddy Walt loves his cigarettes like I love my booze. He'd fire one up every 5 minutes if you let him. And it got to the point where I had cigarettes, and he'd go, hey, Josh, you got a cigarette? And I'd be sitting there going, like, in the back of my mind, I'd be like, he doesn't need it, but am I going to deny a Vietnam vet a cigarette? The answer is, fuck no. You fought for our country, take the whole damn pack. You know what I'm saying? Like, I miss that cantankerous old fart. Cheers to you, Walt. No, my buddy Walt died. I was so fucking depressed. My drinking got worse than it has been in years. The whole situation with Walt is very sad. I don't want to get into it, but As I've stated in previous videos, I'm very protective of Angie and her daughter, and if anyone tries anything with them, I will fucking snap. We want to close this just a little bit. Leave it open a little bit here.
Deadbeat folks that are on Medicaid, and maybe some of those folks are the...
Okay, so according to Tommy Loren, if you're on Medicaid, you're automatically a loser or a stay-at-home son or this and that. And I'm like, you know, you do realize that prescription drugs are ridiculously expensive. And that bill that passed recently banning Medicaid unless you prove to the government that you're worth paying for on it, like, or however they worded it, I don't know. I just know a lot of Americans are going to lose their Medicaid because of some dickhead in the Republican Party. I'm just like, I wish Bernie Sanders was our president. Like, well, like it or not, we're stuck with Trump for the next 4 years or so, so we'll just ride the wave and get through it. That's all you can do. Sitting here, you know what I'm saying, but...
stay-at-home sons, we don't know. But I'll tell you this, leave it to Gen Z to rebrand laziness and social awkwardness as something cutesy, like a stay-at-home son. But Laura, I gotta tell you this...
Oh yeah, Gen Z's the worst. I'll give you that, Tommy Loren, 100%. Gen Z sucks.
Also a big problem when it comes to, I think, declining birth rates, people not getting married.
Oh, you know what? People aren't getting married because it's not worth the squeeze. Marriage is a waste of time unless you find like a solid female that's good for you and then balances you out and all that kind of thing.
Having children, you know, that's a big problem. They blame it on women. Well, look at what young women have to choose from.
So you're going to sit there and accuse everyone of blaming women for everything while simultaneously blaming men for everything. Right. Because speaking as a man, that doesn't get old at all, not in the slightest, having men get blamed for everything. Because modern day feminism has taught women to hate each other, hate themselves, and hate men, and blame men for everything while still expecting men to pay for everything. It's ridiculous.
Pickings are slim. Yes, we might have a feminism problem in America.
The pickings are slim. Well, that's just the thing of it. What are you bringing? What is Tommy Loren and other women like her bringing to the table other than sex? Because if all you have to offer is sex and your personality is shit, guess what? Most men aren't going to put up with it long enough for a little pump and dump. You know what I'm saying? If you're entitled, high maintenance, and you're bipolar as shit, no, that's goes without saying. It is what it is. It is what it is, YouTube. Like, bipolar chicks are not worth the squeeze. They're not, especially if they're psychotic, you know? Don't stick your dick in crazy. It's not worth it, fellas.
But it's the feminization of men. There are a lot of young women out there that want to get married. They want to have kids. They want to have stable families. But there are a lot of young men out there who want to live in mama's basement and order DoorDash. And that's why we have declining birth rates and a lot of other problems in society.
No, we have declining birth rates because men are sick and tired of women's shit. Modern women are next to impossible to date. If you live in a bigger city, you know, especially if you live in a bigger city, it just feels like it's not worth the headache. It's cheaper to stay single. It is. And men are waking the fuck up and realizing that men are the prize because we are the providers. And that we do not need to get married or have kids to be happy in life. We just don't.
It's time to go out, get a job, breathe the fresh air, meet people in real life. Let's just get back to basics.
So first of all, this stay-at-home son thing.
All I heard from Tommy Loren was
is not a real thing. It was a random throwaway, self-deprecating joke some contestant on Jeopardy said. One f***ing guy. Because I guess there's nothing else important going on that they could cover on the news. They literally made this into a fake phenomena so they can on young men. Meanwhile, Democrats are spending millions of dollars trying to win back young men. Oh no, the young men are leaving us in droves. How do we get them back? Don't worry, I got this. Hey, you fat, lazy, Cheeto dust-covered slobs. F*** you. Nice. Thanks. I love you. I
suck a cock with that mean mouth of yours.
Too.
This is gonna be the best day ever.
The fucking shoe on it.
Is the amount of young men living home with their parents increasing? Yes. Is it because they're lazy bums and just want to order DoorDash all day?
No.
And also, they're not paying.
What are you supposed to do when you're a chick going to college and you're stuck paying off student debts? And then there are areas where they charge like $1,000 a month just for a 1-bedroom apartment. And when a 3-bedroom house like mine costs like 40 grand. I'm just saying. And then they want to fuck you out of your Medicaid. So if you get sick or you need prescription drugs or you need to go to the hospital and you can't afford to pay for it, well, that's just too damn bad. Like why we can't have, what's the word I'm looking for, universal health care and legalize prostitution for 21 and up so sick fucks like Epstein can't do what they do. Just a thought. Legalize all drugs and offer them treatment instead of throwing non-violent offenders in prison. Just a thought. I didn't say that out loud.
For DoorDash, Tommy, they're financing it. Come on. Get with the times.
There are a lot of young men out there who want to live in mama's basement and order DoorDash, and that's what...
What if they live in mama's basement because their parents are super old and they're stay-at-home kids because they're taking care of like their grandmother or say their parents? You don't know their fucking story. You don't. I know Jessica Boyle's story. She doesn't take care of her parents. She treats them like shit. But her parents enable her because they don't want to put up with her bullshit. And if I had to live with Jessica Boyle 24/7 like that, I think I'd go insane. I'm just saying. I'd be like, lock me up in the mental institution with a straitjacket because I can't take it anymore! Okay.
Have declining birth rates. It's time to go out, get a job, breathe the fresh...
You cannot have a conversation with Jessica Boyle because she just wants to listen to herself talk. She'll accuse you of yelling when you're not yelling, and it's just like, why are you yelling at me? You can be talking to her like you are right now, and then you get so fed up with the conversation, you're like, honey, this isn't yelling. This is yelling! You see what I'm saying, YouTube? Like, you could be sitting there talking where she'll try pulling the whole, you know the 4 things that women do to try to win the arguments? Why are you yelling at me? You're not listening. And it's like, if you have to yell as loud as you can to prove the point that you're not yelling, that's not helping. And then she just looked at you like, well, you're aggressive. And I'm like, you're a dumb bitch.
Have either of you tried applying for a job as a young man recently? Or tried buying a house on the salary of one of these young men? Have you experienced the dating market, been on the dating sites as a young man? No? Interesting, okay. Just wondering. Listen, I know the average age of a Fox News viewer is like 70 nowadays, and you need to pander to them, but Tommy, you're like 2 years
So,
young.
like, why are you yelling at me? And I'm like, I'm not yelling at you, because if I was yelling at you, you'd know about it.
Me. You know this shit isn't true. Why are you talking like this? Why are you talking like a f***ing boomer? I'm sorry, I have no other word for this, but I hate this like generational pick-me shit.
And the thing of it is, I will acknowledge that I have a nasty temper, and sometimes my temper scares me, but like, when people do everything they can to push your buttons and get you to lose your shit just so they can play victim, that's called gaslighting.
Was born in the wrong generation. I'm not like those other young people. And you know what? She's not like those other young people. Not all young people can afford a nice nose job and lip filler and get a cushy job on Fox News based entirely on merit, I'm sure. The main problem with this brain-dead, boomer-ass take is not only is it cringe, but it's completely divorced from reality. This slop is specifically designed for people who paid like $5 for a f***ing house. And listen, not all boomers, okay? My parents are boomers. They are lovely people. A lot of you guys are boomers. But when the baby boomer generation sends its people, it is not sending their best. They're not sending you. They're sending people who have lots of problems. They're bringing the housing crisis. They're bringing wage stagnation. They're falling for...
And that's the thing of it. It's like Jessica Boyle is not worth the headache. The easy pussy I get from Jessica Boyle is just not worth the fucking headache that comes with it. I could find a chick way younger, way prettier, and way easier to get along with, and way easier on the eyes. I overlooked a lot of Jessica's look points, and she's constantly, and even she's aware of it too. Like, I know I'm ugly. Josh, I know you could have a chick in her 20s. I'm nothing special. And I'm like, oh, somebody's hitting box one and can't land at warp speed. Wow. Watching Jessica Boyle mentally lose her shit on camera is the funniest goddamn shit. People are going, oh my god, dude, your ex is so unhinged. It's kind of sad, actually. And I'm like, it's not sad, it's hilarious. Watching Jessica Boyle fucking lose her shit on camera because she's doing it to get attention and get people to feel sorry for her. And it's like, she did it to herself. You did it to yourself. Like these women who bitch and complain because every guy they date's a fucking asshole, but the first thing out of your fucking 304 mouth is, I can change him. Wrong! We talked about this, ladies. You can't change men. And then the second you try to think, oh, if you give him pussy, you can correct his bad behavior. All you're doing is reinforcing his bad behavior by rewarding it with access to easy puss. Stop it. That's like the equivalent of letting your dog crap all over your carpet and then giving him a dog treat and petting them, and then complaining because your dog won't stop shitting on the carpet.
AI-generated photos on Facebook, but some, I assume, are good people. But my god, I truly believe they do not understand how good they had it. They could support a family on a single income. A single income from a job that didn't require a college degree. Their leaders didn't prostitute away their economic future for some cheap plastic shit from China. They inherited the greatest economy known to man, and they pretend it's a paradise that they earned. I just don't understand, like, why don't boomers and spiritual boomers like Tommy Lauren see people struggling and go, wow, I wish I could fix this. They should have it better than I had it. I wonder why so many millennials and zoomers don't want kids. I want to make the world a better place for my children. I want to make the world a better place for my children. Ugh. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, you spoiled brat. Children. Not happening.
Well, I don't want to start a family until I build my clock tower dream house, but that's neither here nor there. Whiskey knows my name. What is this ad? Whiskey does know my name. I love Jack Daniels. Not a sponsor. some kind of music channel. Okay, you know what? I'll subscribe to them. Fuck it. Skip the ad.
Well, look at what young women have to choose from. The pickings are slim.
Oh, the pickings are slim. Well, how do you think men feel? To be honest with you. Like, if you have nothing to bring to the table other than sex, most men aren't gonna bite, because it's like, for me, I want more than just good sex. I want good communication and cuddles, and to show off my woman at the bar. To me, cuddling is more intimate than sex. That's just my opinion. I enjoy cuddling my female friend more than I would enjoy fucking her, because to me it's just, you know what I'm saying? And like, showing her off at the bar, buying her drinks, telling her jokes, trying to make her laugh. This one time when Jessica Boyle came to visit me, we went out for drinks, and she was feeling like shit. And I'm sitting here doing everything in my power to make her laugh. And she was just like, meh. Everyone in the bar that watched us interact, I heard people laughing their asses off, because you know your boy Cobra, I got a smart mouth, and I know how to make people laugh. I got a wicked sense of humor. Start doing my, you might be from Wyoming if. Yes, sir.
We might have a feminism problem in America, but it's the feminization of men.
Young men are...
And then you'll bitch because men are not in touch with their feminine side. And the second they act more manly, it's toxic masculinity. We've already been through this. Moving on.
becoming lazy because they're becoming feminized. So they're becoming lazy because they act more like women? What did she mean by this, chat? I know there's like a decrease in testosterone or something happening, but men are moving right-wing all over the world. Does that correlate with the...
Not necessarily men moving right-wing, it's just men are waking the fuck up and realizing that dating is stupid and pointless, and that it's cheaper and easier just to be single, and that you don't need a woman in your life to be happy, that it's just easier to go MGTOW and do your thing. And yet, when men suddenly decide, you know what, we're done, we don't want to fucking date, modern day feminism has brainwashed you 304s into hating men, hating yourselves, and hating each other, and blaming men for everything, while still expecting men to pay for everything. We're just like, nope. Unless you can find a chick that's pretty enough and easy enough to get along with, that gets you, and doesn't have like 10 million dicks to her fucking name stacked up on the cock carousel, it's not worth the squeeze. You see women like Bonnie Blue bragging about fucking 100 dudes in one night, and it's just like, ew. There's a reason why women get slut-shamed, because women do not have to try that hard to get laid. All they gotta do is show up and say yes. Men are the ones that have to jump through hoops to get it. Even us ugly dudes like myself have to work twice as hard to get it. Even like mid-attractive women can still get puss. Unless she's so god ugly, you need to fucking drink Jack Daniels to make her pretty. And then I'm like, don't do it. If you gotta drink Jack Daniels to make her pretty, I want to be sitting there like, oh God, you're gonna wake up next to Chewbacca in the morning. And when it comes to the way I like my women, I'm very shallow when it comes to what I like in women. But then again, women are just as shallow as men. And when you call them out on their hypocrisy, they call you a raging sexist. You know, things like, well, a girl's gotta have her needs. Right. So that being said, if women reject me because I'm not their type, I'm not going to get mad and be like, well, I'm like, oh, that's your loss, honey. You could have a rock star right at your fingertips, but you know it is what it is. Like, you know, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I'm some nice guy who finds less attractive women appealing. I'm like, no, I'll be real with you. I like my chicks hot. Like, if my dick's not getting hard, it's not gonna happen. You don't like it? Wham. Why is it that if a dude likes big boobs and a curvy waist and a nice little ass, fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's seen as a pig. Or does women like dudes who are like 6 feet tall, have 6-inch dicks and fucking huge ass muscles and 6-pack abs? No one calls them a cunt. Like, literally, I watched this ugly ass chick on YouTube was getting interviewed by some random person, and they're like, so what's your biggest turnoff in men? And she's sitting there with her big old gut hanging out. Like, I know I got a gut too, so I'm not gonna talk too much shit, but when you're sitting there with your fucking big ass female gut hanging out of your fucking very scrawny tube top, trying to show off what little boob you have, and then you want to sit there and be like, men who don't work out, that was her turnoff. And I'm like, really? So, like, men who don't take care of themselves? I'm reminded of that episode of South Park where Wendy Testaburger is losing her shit over Butters because Butters has a thing for Kim Kardashian. And she's going off on this feminist rant about blah, 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 blah. And it's like, yeah, but women are just as shallow as men. It only gets called out when men do it. So I'm sitting here like, how is that fair? It's not. And then you want to call yourselves the fairer sex? You're adorable. Realistically, it shouldn't matter what you look like because all bodies come in different shapes, sizes, and colors. You know, it just is what it is. However, if you have shallow standards on the dating and you're a bit more picky with your partners, by all means, do it up, Haas. As Jank said from the Young Turks, do it up, Haas. You want to be picky about it, that's fine. It's your choice. But then don't complain when the people you're going after are just as picky as you are. They look at you like, nope, this ain't happening. This ain't happening. No. How about no? And most guys are not that picky, you know? It's like, well, shit, if you got nice tits and your face isn't a complete train wreck. All right, we can make this work. And sometimes there were dudes out there who will sacrifice look points because they like your personality. Don't believe me? You haven't talked to men, have you? Ugh. I love thunderstorms, especially during the summertime. The smell of summertime rain, it's glorious. How hard is it to find a cute goth chick to cuddle with on the couch and watch scary movies with on a thunderstormy sort of night? You know, maybe I order a fucking pizza and we just cuddle on the couch and pig out on pizza and watch scary movies. I'm just saying, that sounds like a perfect date night to me, man. Get a little bit of Jack Daniels, a little bit of pot, fucking order a pizza and cuddle up on the couch and pig out on pizza and watch scary movies on a thunderstormy stormous night like such as tonight. To me, that just sounds like peak. Then again, I'm a guy, and I'm not that hard to please. Like, these women are sitting here super picky and going, oh, look, the pickings are slim. Chicka, 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 slim shady. Mom spaghetti, chopping up pedophiles with a machete, spilling the guts like confetti, my trigger hand steady. When I'm ready to take the shot and watch your corpse rot, because I'm going to give it all I got. Boy, that thunderstorm is going nuts out there, man. Yeah. Like, women who sit there and complain that men are too picky, while they themselves are twice as picky, it fucking kills me, dude. Seeing busted ass chicks who fucking are like, oh yeah, you know, fucking. I'm just like, how about no? How about no? And then I'm being told, well, Josh, you're not allowed to be picky because your trolls are assholes. You're kind of creepy looking, and your teeth are disgusting. And I'm like, well, okay, way to judge me for my looks. Then you're not allowed to be picky either. Then you're not allowed to be picky either. Because there's this thing I love to preach on my YouTube channel. It's called gender equality. And gender equality is a bitch. And so is my ex-girlfriend. Winning and no.
Or, I mean, there are suspiciously a lot of far-right femboys, so maybe. But here's the thing, Tammy. There is absolutely no evidence that young women want to start families more than young men. None. In fact, all the data says the exact opposite. According to Pew Research, 64% of women younger than 50 say they just don't want to have children. No reason.
Women underneath the age of 50 say that they just don't want to have children, according to a Pew Research. That's because by the time you're 40, your uterus starts to dry out. And your fertile years are behind you. Wow. And that 40 to 80 stretch is a long and lonely road of crying your eyes into boxed wine and Catland. And like, realistically, it's not that fucking hard to please women. You know what I'm saying, YouTube? I'm the kind of guy that if my girlfriend's on her period and we're having a date and she's in a bitchy mood, you know what I'm going to do? Cook her favorite food if I can, or DoorDash her favorite restaurant to the location in which we are at, and then cuddle with her on the couch and watch chick flicks. And have a good cry with her at the end of the sad movie when she's sitting there like, oh my god, this movie's so sad. And you're sitting there crying with her and holding her, and she feels the tears coming off your face. Oh my god, a man who's not afraid to show his vulnerable side? Wow. It doesn't mean you cry like a huge pussy all day, but at the same time, fellas, it's okay to have a good cry. We are human beings. We all experience emotions. If men want to, real men cry, dude. I'm not saying they bawl their fucking eyes out like a bunch of, but I'm telling you right now, dude, if you feeling like some sort of sadness, let it out, dude. It is not healthy for you to hold that shit in because you're so afraid of your buddies calling you a faggot. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, where was this thunderstorm when I needed it for one of my songs? This fucker's loud, dude. Yeah. I got the ending for the song that I wanted, so I'm not complaining. I gotta finish writing Dragon Cobra and finish my next album. The kind of guy who could make his woman a homemade cheesecake that's so fucking good it would make her great-great-grandmother blush. You serve her some pink champagne, maybe some tequila rose, and fucking eat her pussy out while she's eating the cheesecake. And that's when you look at your lady friend while you're eating her pussy out and go, honey, tell me about all the chicks you really fucking hate while I'm eating your cunt out. Okay. Well, so-and-so is such a bitch. I can't stand. Oh, you're really good at this. I'm like, yeah, what's up? I'm just saying, if you're boss at eating pussy and you can make your lady friend feel like queen bitch and make all of her frenemies jealous of the relationship you and her have, and you're a good cook and a good listener, and you're not afraid to show your vulnerable side, putty in your hands, my dude.
Just don't want them. First, 50% of men who say the same. Another study by Archbridge Institute shows the same. 63% of women without children said they have no desire to have a child, while only 50% of men said the same. For men, the most commonly cited factor was personal finance, but among women...
That's what I'm saying, financial independence. That's why I said I don't want to start a family until I build my clock-towered mansion and I win the lottery, dude. I'm just saying. I got a better chance. Oh, did the thunderstorm quiet down? No, it's still going. That's alright. I feel like I got a better chance at winning the lottery than I do on finding my soulmate. It just is what it is. Now, if I found the goth chick of my dreams and she was hot enough for me to get the job done and then some, and we clicked like two peas in a pod, and she felt the same way about me, that's kind of the end goal, I would think. And like, what can I say? I'm a sucker for chicks who have green eyes, but that's neither here nor there. That doesn't mean jack, you know. That doesn't mean jack, but one cannot be that picky when it comes to eye color. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things. I personally hate my brown eyes. I've had a lot of women tell me, yeah, but your brown eyes are so handsome, Josh. And I'll admit it, I'm way too hard on myself. But it just is what it is. And the main reason why I guess women don't want to have kids is because they don't want to lose their figure or give up their morning mimosas, etc.
The strongest reason not to have a child was their desire to maintain their personal independence. Basically, they don't want to give up their brunch and mimosas. They've been asked blasted...
Brunch and mimosas. What are fucking mimosas? If you don't know what mimosas are, you don't know your cocktails. Mimosas, you two, are basically champagne and orange juice. Mimosas are delicious. I have a sweet tooth for Corbel Rose. It's like, yeah, Cobra likes his pink champagne. You can find one homo suspicious point. It's like, yeah. I'm like, fuck it. I'm secure enough with my heterosexuality that I don't give a fuck, dude. You see me on camera drinking pink champagne and White Claws like it's going out of style. I'm like, it's booze. Fuck it. One cannot be that picky when it comes to booze unless it's Malort. I'm sorry for those of you who enjoy Jepson's Malort. Have at it, Haas. But no, Jepson's Malort is so gross, dude. I'm generally not that picky when it comes to booze, but Jepson's Malort is disgusting. I'm like, nope. Bleh. So the drink combo I have right now, I have a little bit of raspberry tea from Arizona and some of my favorite cheap vodka. And I'm like, it's nice. It's not overpowering. I didn't make it too stiff. I'm definitely catching a nice little evening buzz. Just watching Shoe on Head and enjoying a nice thunderstorm. A nice summertime thunderstorm. Which, in my opinion, this is why I live for summer, you know? Not just the chicks going by in their summertime clothes. To quote Paint It Black, I see the girls dressed in their summer clothes. But like the thunderstorms that we get during the summertime, the fresh smell of rain. And realistically, I just gotta find a chick who shares similar interests. Because when I was at the Cradle of Filth concerts, and I got my tactical soap on, and I'm sitting there shrieking with Danny Filth, and the shriek I tried was actually pretty decent. Like, it was dueling off of Danny Filth, which I thought was pretty cool. You could hear it in the air, and I was fanboying super hard. And, like, I had a bunch of goth chicks, just goth chicks everywhere. Like, when I went to the Cradle of Filth concert in Colorado, the place was crawling with goth chicks. And I was just like, what is this? They serve beer at the counter, and there's goth chicks everywhere. Have I found the promised land? And then, like, when I'm sitting there showing off my shriek for my fellow Cradle of Filth fans, a bunch of goth Cradle of Filth fangirls are just like, oh my god, you shriek like Danny Filth. Oh. And I'm like, that's what I'm saying, you two.
Propaganda their whole lives, telling them their life.
And like, right when I was standing in the crowd, there was this chick next to me. She couldn't help herself. She got a little bit closer to me, just close enough to where we were barely touching. You could just see she was checking me out. Tactical soap working its magic. Okay, shameless ad. Check out Tactical Soap. The link description box below. Men, you want to smell like a rock star for your lady friends? Or do you want to fucking wear a soap that makes women horny? Makes men respect you? Check out Tactical Soap. I'd highly recommend Bond #1. That's my main go-to. It's all black. It smells of charcoal and leather and a hint of sweetness. And the scents are not overpowering, just enough to get the job done, you know.
Will be ruined, their bodies will be ruined, they'll never have fun again, they'll be miserable forever if
I call bullshit this idea that if you start a family you'll never have fun with your life. I'm like, well, that's when you start hanging out with other parents and being like, so wow, you know.
children. And as someone who has had a children, best decision I've ever made.
Oh yeah, Shoe on Head's got a kid now. She's a MILF. And that being said, a circle of protection around Shoe on Head, her baby daddy, and her kids, so mote to be in the witch's circle.
10-10.
Because as I've often said, children are more precious than rock and roll, in my opinion. I'll drink to that. I fucking hate pedophiles.
Highly recommend, would do it again. But yes, this idea that men are the ones primarily responsible for the low birth rates is laughable.
It's beyond laughable, Shoe on Head. It is beyond fucking laughable. The idea that men are the ones responsible for low birth rates. You got women who are taking birth control because they want to have sex with no consequences. And I'm like, you want sex with no consequences? There's no such thing. You either deal with emotional drama, STIs, or unwanted pregnancy. Having sex is like playing with a loaded gun and sticking it in your mouth. And playing Russian roulette. One chamber says unwanted STIs. Another chamber says unwanted pregnancy. Another chamber says entitled women, entitled men. Another loaded chamber, that's 4, says unwanted drama. chamber number 5 is attachment, and they don't want you back that same way. So you're lucky if you click, metaphorically speaking. Like, unless you can find a solid chick to get with, sex is just not worth the squeeze. It really isn't. And like, women are more than just sex, thank you very much. So when they try to weaponize sex and their emotions to get what they want and gaslight men, you know, and men are starting to pick up on that and see past your BS. It's like, well, and to be fair, not all women do this to a point. There are a lot of good women out there who just want good sex, good cuddles, good food, good drink, and good companionship, the same as any guy, you know.
Over here. But honestly, it's not really women or men's fault. There are a lot of factors that play into this. But Tommy, I really gotta ask, is it men or is it you?
This is going to be the summer of canceling boys.
Oh, I saw this video Tommy Loren did. She's mad because she ain't getting no dick. And like, Tommy Loren is relatively attractive. So if she's having a hard time finding a good man in her life, and that's probably because her personality sucks. Because when you listen to Tommy Loren complain on this video, I'm over here like, oh, my vodka is almost empty. I'm going to pour me another one. Looks like the thunderstorm's over. Sad day. Hold up. One second, YouTube. Oh, that's the one. If they can make a candle that smelled like fresh summertime rain. Ugh. Not. Oh, I saw that. Nature's fireworks. Okay. Maybe it's not completely over, but it's definitely calmed down a bit. That's just me personally. I enjoy the smell of fresh rain. Especially after a long hot summer's day, and the evening hits, and then boom, we get a thunderstorm, and everything just cools off.
Men are the ones primarily responsible for the low birth rates.
Yeah, it is laughable because women are the ones choosing. They want to be sexually independent, just like men. They're taking birth control. It is not that hard for women to baby trap dudes. Because if dudes are stupid, they don't put a condom on, etc., what have you, then you're fucked if she gets pregnant. So, people like Tommy Loren saying that men are the ones responsible for the low birth rates. I'm sitting there laughing my ass off. Because she doesn't want a kid right now. She's got a career to think about. And when she has that mentality, plus the mentality of I can change him by giving him sex, she will spend her 20s, 30s, and 40s chasing after guys who are only going to use her for sex, and that's it. And then she'll bitch. Then when she gets to be about 55, 60 years old, then she'll whine and complain because men are pigs. And then she'll become one of these bitter, washed-up hags that hates men and has too many cats. And when that happens, you got no one to blame but yourself. Because realistically, ladies, you would not date a man who tries to change you. It's just what it is.
We're laughing over here. But honestly, it's not really women or men's fault. There are a lot of factors that play into this. But Tommy, I really gotta ask, is it men or is it you?
This is going to be the summer of canceling boys. All of my friends are attractive.
Oh, good for you. The summer of canceling boys. Because boys are just the worst, right, ladies? Oh my god, we're just the fucking worst. You can't cancel a gender, honey. Men exist. Get over it. And like, that's the thing of it. If you and all of your friends are attractive, and I'm going to gauge my assumption here that for as pretty as Tommy Loren is, if any of your friends are equally as hot, then I'm like, yeah. Well, I'm like, that's just it. You want to cancel boys? Like, you can't cancel us, sweetheart. Oh, why are you in such a foul mood? Well, if my dick was inside your cunt, you wouldn't be in such a grumpy mood. The summer of canceling boys. I remember when Tommy Loren posted this video a while back, and everybody watched it. I saw it, and I started laughing my ass off. I'm like, right. Because imagine if men were talking like this about women. I'm like, yeah, me and all my bros, we're total chads, bro. We're all like super buffed and like, we're all super like successful and Newsflash, Tommy Loren, nobody gives a shit if you have a successful career. Men do not care if women have a successful career because men are told to provide for everything. So we do not care if you have a successful career. When it's a man's job to be protective and provide for women, we do not give a shit if you as a woman have a successful career. We don't give a shit. We don't. I firmly believe that women should have the right to work and earn their keep 100%. But outside of that, we men do not give a shit if you have a successful career. Because it's a man's job to protect and provide for the women in his life. Like it or not, it just is what it is.
My friends are successful. All of my friends have something going on.
Oh, they got something going on. Good for you, Tom. That face she's making right now. That's the face. The face Tommy Loren's making in that video right now. Like, yeah, that's the face.
Almost every single one of them have an issue with men. But if
Okay, so let me ask you this. If you and all of your friends are stupid hot and like attractive women are not that hard to find, attractive women are a dime a dozen, looks are not everything, looks are only half of it. And if you're a moderately attractive female and you're having a hard time finding dick, then it is totally 100% you. Maybe your personality sucks dead mongoose dicks, and that's why you can't get a solid man in your life. Maybe because there's like way too much pressure on men to get married and like way too much pressure on women to give out sex. Just my 2 cents. Not that it matters. Just my 2 cents. Because I'm looking at Tommy Loren like, got me licking my fucking chops like a hungry wolf. Oh, bark at the moon. I'm like, if I had more money, and I lived a little bit closer, I was more financially independent and better looking myself, and I didn't have a huge beer gut, maybe my teeth weren't disgusting, if I wasn't bald, and I had more money, I'd shoot my shit. And like, that's just it. I don't expect my girlfriend to be a supermodel, okay, because I know I'm not the best looking guy myself, but what I bring to the table makes up for it. My dick, okay. What I bring to the table, I'm good with animals, I'm good with old people, And I'm generally a good person, but a lot of women will not give me a chance because I come off as creepy, weird, and eccentric, and then my YouTube trolls don't help the situation either, but I digress. But when you got chicks who are like, oh yeah, my dogs fucking hate men, and then they see me and then we get along just like puppies playing in the park, that should tell you something. And that's one of the few things that I admire about gifts about myself. I love to sing and play guitar. I love music. And I love animals, you know. But like, here's the thing of it, Tommy Loren. If you and your friends are all stupid hot, you're so successful and amazeballs and girl boss, oh my goodness. Yes, Queen, slay. And despite all of that, you still can't get dick. When women do not have to try that hard to get dick, all they gotta do is show up and say yes and find the right guy that finds them attractive. Us less attractive guys like myself have to try a lot harder to get it. This is why I love tactical soap. It gives me an advantage. You know, my approach to dating is a hands-off approach. Buy her a couple of drinks, wear some tactical soap, try to make her laugh. Figure out what makes her tick. What makes that beautiful mind of yours tick, sweetheart. What's your favorite color? Your favorite season, your favorite time of year. Do you like winter, autumn, spring, or summer? You know, what's your favorite kind of band? Your favorite food? Do you have any pets? Do you like guitar players? Because I'd rock your world. Hey, what's a guitarist's favorite kind of swimsuits? A G-string. Yeah, that's a shitty Josh joke. You can keep that one. You share it with all your musician friends. They'll get a chuckle out of that. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. A G-string. Oh my goodness. Do you have any interesting quirks that make you unique? But like, oh, I hope you don't mind it, but I'm a smoker. I smoke a pipe. Oh, well, that's vintage. Yeah. Pack it in there. Just a little scoop-a-doop. Not too tight. Nice, just enough to fill her up. I love the smell of a good aromatic pipe tobacco. And I'm almost out. Shit on a brick. Give it a char light. Grab our pipe tool and very lightly and gently tamp it down into the bowl just like that. Ever so delicately. There's a ritual to smoking a tobacco pipe. There's a process. And it works. Now we got our char light. It's packed. Let's go. And that's the thing of it. Attractive women do not have a hard time attracting men. That's just it. Like, attractive men do not have a hard time attracting chicks. Attractive people in general do not have that hard of a time attracting the opposite sex. It just is what it is. It doesn't mean you'll like what you attract. And like, you got the Andrew Tates of the world and modern day feminism teaching women and men to hate each other. And all it does is create this negative discourse amongst the sexes. This whole battle of the sexes crap. And I'm just so fucking over it. And people are like, oh yeah, well I'm sick and tired of Cobra doing his gender rants. And I'm like, yeah, well I'm sick and tired of hearing about it. I'm sick and tired of talking about it to a point. Because it's like, I want women and men to be nicer to each other. That's it. To understand each other and be nicer to each other. And like for women and men to connect on a spiritual level. for women and men to connect on a spiritual level that goes beyond sex. And like, holy shit, when you're sitting there putting 2 and 2 together, because some of you out there are a lot smarter than you give yourselves credit for. You start putting 2 and 2 together. But here's Tommy Loren going off on her videos like, me and my friends are all super hot and super successful. Oh my god. We actually have shit going for us in our lives. And I'm over here like, good for you. I'm over here like, good for you. Men are the prize because we are the providers and the protectors. Don't believe me? Let's keep watching this shoe on head video and Tommy Loren's gonna tell on herself. That's a nice looking bottle of potato juice. 1 second. It helps to have a personality and your little quirks that make you you. Like for me, I love making drink combos. Been that way since I was a kid. And your boy Cobra knows how to make a mean cocktail. That's all I'm saying. I got a gift for this shit. Some of the drink combos I've come up with are so fucking good. A drink combo I would highly recommend would be Coconut Rum Haven Water, which is a coconut rum that I'm very fond of. And I mix it with Body Armor Peach Mango. And it's like a tropical escape in your mouth, dude.
All of these women, including myself, are having issues, then I have to think, it might not be us.
Oh, you were Terrence Pop, say it with me. Bullshit! That is so typical modern women for you in a nutshell. Take no responsibility for how shitty of a person I am. No, it's all men's faults. The fuck out of here. Women, would you date men who take no responsibility for how shitty they treat women? And then, in turn, decide to blame women for everything. You would fucking hate that shit. The fuck out of here, dude. Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
It might be you. It is not just the guys in Los Angeles, Nashville, Dallas, and they're not any better in the Midwest. Quite frankly, I think they're trash all over this country.
Oh, and now we get to the root of the cause. Why Tommy Loren and her hot, attractive 20-something, 30-something-year-old friends can't find a good man. Because when the attitude you have towards men is that we're all trash. And then you bitch because you can't find a good man in your life. Imagine if a man talked like this. Like, yeah, all women are just cunts, you know. You'd fucking hate it. You'd be like, excuse me, not all women are like that. And that's when I look at Tommy Loren and go, yeah, well, not all men are trash, honey. You just haven't found the right guy yet. And quit worrying about when you find the right guy and just keep focusing on doing your fabulous thing. You know what I'm saying? It'll work out eventually. It'll work out eventually. Tommy Loren's pretty enough that I don't see how she can't find a good guy. Tommy Loren's pretty enough. I don't see how she can't find a good guy. Probably because her personality sucks more dicks than a drunk woman at a frat house. Well.
Friends are successful. Men don't give a shit about that. They'd marry a Walmart cashier if she was nice to them.
That's what I'm saying, because men are simple creatures of habit, shoe on head, 100%. Men do not give a fuck if you have a successful career. You know, you're pretty enough and you're nice enough to us, we'll pursue it. That's just how it is. Because realistically, ladies, do you want to date a man who's constantly treating women like shit and then taking no responsibility for his actions And then instead of owning his shit like a man should do when men do what we do, own your shit. You know what I'm saying? Man up and own your shit. Instead of owning your shit, it's blame someone else for your problems. You would get sick of that crap so quickly. Men are simple creatures of habits. We are not that picky, dude. Well, for the most part.
I think men between the ages of 20 and 30 are not ready, in most cases, for marriage, are usually not ready to be husbands and fathers.
That's a cultural issue. So,
a cultural issue? You're saying our culture has issues? No. You too bad. Skip the ad.
Oh, I would actually.
Cultural issue. So,
no, I would actually, back to your point, I think it's a biological thing.
So let me get this straight. Men are all trash and won't commit and won't leave mommy's basement, and they're destroying the birth rates, but also young men are biologically incapable of commitment and being parents. What?
Well, that's what I'm saying, shoe on head, 100%. Why is it that men are afraid of commitments? They get told they're weak and they're pussies, but if women are afraid of commitments, we get told, well, she is sexually liberated and she doesn't have to settle for anyone. And all men are trash anyways. And then you'll bitch because you can't keep a solid relationship. Right.
Wait, there's more. She also believes women don't have to bring anything to the table. And
to quote Regular Show, well, Regular Show, yeah. You know who else likes to watch Regular Show? My mom. Woo! Oh, that's rich. How, like, women like Tommy Loren think we don't have to contribute anything to the relationship. Our presence is enough. And I'm like, right. So you're that's called entitlement? Imagine if men acted like that. Well, I have a dick and balls, so therefore I'm automatically entitled to your pussy and your finances. And if you don't treat me like the king that I am, I'm going to dump you and you're going to be alone and single the rest of your life. Women would hate that shit. Pierce Morgan, cheers, mate. Fucking, you got a panel of people here all talking. Pierce Morgan Uncensored. The thing about relationships is that nothing in this life is free, man. And like, women and men need to realize that yourself isn't enough. If all you have to offer your other half is sex, that ain't shit. Any woman can have sex with you, my dudes, my fellow blokes, right here. Themselves, right here. You see what I'm saying? Like, if all you have to offer is sex, I'm like, you ain't shit. Because women are more than just sex. So if all you're offering him is sex, and then thinking, well, you don't have to provide anything, what about love and respect?
As a woman, I want a strong man who is a protector and a provider that will go to war if need be, that will protect me, protect my...
You see what fucking Tommy Loren just said there? Like, that look on her face. Like, She wants a man who's strong, who provides and protects, thus proving I'm right on this video. And I'm like, let women talk. They will tell on themselves.
Family, make money, but I don't think a man needs to get something out of it to be a manly man, a protector, and a provider.
You don't think a man should... Oh my God, honey, really? So you want to act like you're entitled to a man protecting you and providing for you while providing nothing yourself? Right. Suck his dick every once in a while, keep his ball sack empty of sperm, cook him a meal, make him a sandwich every once in a while. Make him feel like a man, you know? Like, hey honey, can you open the pickle jar for me, please? Sure, maybe you're tough enough to do it, but you know what I'm saying? But then, like, fucking, you let your man do it. Make him feel strong and handsome and appreciated. Men get off on that. Just like when your woman's on her period and she's feeling fat and bloated and gross, you know, you make her feel pretty. Cuddle with her on the couch with some nice wine, a couple of chick flicks. Maybe you binge watch Gilmore Girls. Maybe you make her a nice chicken Alfredo pasta. I got a recipe for that. It's on my King Cobra JFS channel. My chicken bacon white wine pasta that I made. Phenomenal. I'll take like some angel hair pasta and I'll boil it in butter and water and virgin olive oil, white wine, and a little bit of beer. Then when the noodles are fully cooked, I'll throw in a four cheese Alfredo sauce with some fully cooked chicken and a little bit of bacon, and then some white wine, some beer, and some olive oil and some butter, and I'll stir it around until it coagulates. Then I'll add like Parmesan cheese, a little bit of mozzarella, you know, and I'll just cook it and let it simmer and do its thing with the angel hair pasta. And if I want some garlic bread to go with it, I'll plate up the pasta with some Parmesan, you know, and a nice glass of white wine to go with it. I'll take a loaf of Italian bread from the store, slice it down the middle, unfold it, spread a bunch of butter on there, hit that with a little bit of garlic salt, and a sprinkle of mozzarella cheese on top, and then I'll bake it in the oven until it's nice and like garlic toast perfection. And I'll have that with my white wine Alfredo pasta. I like to use red wine when I make spaghetti and meatballs with my red sauces. You want a trick to making some bomb-ass spaghetti and meatballs? Red wine for your red sauces, white wine for your white sauces. Pretty straightforward. Like, oh, she's pretty, that should be enough. The entitlement, dude.
If you think you need to get something out of it, I quite frankly don't consider you a real man.
Never before in history have women demanded so much and offered so little. So before...
That's what I'm saying. You can't demand the world of your man and men in general, and then you yourself bring nothing to the table. Because like I said, ladies, you would get so tired of that shit so quickly. It's like, oh wait, so you expect me to do everything while you provide nothing? Well, you're an entitled pig male. And it's like, yeah, well, you're a cunt. No woman would date a man that acts entitled to pussy and expects women to do everything, cook, clean, give off the sex, etc., and then offer nothing to her in exchange. Women would hate that shit. And Shoein Head is not wrong with this video. She's 100% right. Like I said, I was watching this video, and this dude walks up to a chick wearing a tube top. She's got her gut hanging out. She's trying to show off what titties she does have. And her gut's bigger than my ego, mind you. And he's like, so what's your biggest turnoff in men? And she goes, men who don't work out. Meanwhile, she's sitting here, gut galore. And I'm like, I know I got a gut from like fast food and drinking, so I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh yeah, you know. Like, I'm not here to fat shame anyone, but at the same time, it's like, how the fuck are you going to say men who don't work out turn you off, but you yourself look like you don't work out either?
Deeper into this retarded man.
You seem like all these ugly ass, unattractive women who bring nothing to the looks department, and their personality sucks major dick. And they act like, oh, because they have a vagina, they own the world. And then when you see the attractive women acting like this too, I'm just like, nah, fuck off.
A stay-at-home son narrative. Let's check the Facebook comments of this Fox News video because I am really interested to see what, like, the typical Fox News viewer thinks about this. If the women are anything like these two, I can hardly blame the men for staying home and...
That's what I'm saying. This comment sums up what I'm saying. If women are anything like the two on this Fox News panel, I can hardly blame the men for staying home and wanting to stay single. All they do is blame men for everything. Blame, and take no responsibility for their cunty behavior. That's what I'm saying. If you're a raging cunt and you take no responsibility for your bullshit and you fucking blame men for everything, while expecting them to give you the world, the whole Disney princess treatment, and when you can't find that simp that's willing to do that for you, you'll bitch and complain because men can't handle all of this. And it's like, the entitlement is strong with this one. Realistically, ladies, would you date a man who acts like he owns the world because he's got a dick? And he acts like he's entitled to everything because he's a man? And if he doesn't get his way, he throws a fit and blames women for everything? You would fucking hate it.
Wanting to date them. Blame. These two women have a combined age of 93 and they have 0 children between both of them. You both have repugnant personality types, so listening to this was like male birth control to me.
I like how one male listening to that Fox News panel was just like, you both have repugnant, shitty personality types. So for him, listening to these fucking clams shoot their fucking mouth off was like male birth control. Yeah, no shit. When you're watching that fucking hag on The View sitting there, oh yeah, we gotta teach men not to be sexists. We gotta teach our boys not to rape. Fuck you. Why is it sexism and rape is only called out when men do it? And then they sit there and scream at us, we want to be treated just like men. Shut up. Toss her off, missus. You're full of shit. If women got treated just like the men they complained about, they would fucking hate it. They're like, I don't know how men put up with this crap. And you want to know why the suicide rates are higher amongst men than they are women? Because nobody gives a shit about what men want or men's rights. It's all about everyone else's rights. The justice system doesn't give a shit about men or men's rights. It just is what it is. And that's the only reason why I give a fuck about women's issues, because nobody gives a fuck about men's issues. Because I'm a firm believer in gender and racial equality and treat others the way you want to be treated. And like equality amongst like LGBT plus straights and everyone else kind of thing. But of course, it's Fox News. If I wanted to kill my brain cells, I'd rather do drugs than watch Fox News. Like, Cobra, what are you doing? I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm in the corner in a fetal position, going insane after how crazy society is. Blasting Ozzy Osbourne and smoking a fat doobie. Society's going off the rails on a crazy train. Long live Ozzy, motherfucker.
My goodness! Boomers are ruthless! Bunch of sissies. I served 6 years, 2 years in Southeast Asia after Vietnam was over.
Okay, he spelled sissies with an S. S-I-S-S-Y-S, which is a derogatory term for like men who aren't manly enough, you know. Oh, you sissy boy, fucking this and that. And now if you spell it with a C, C-I-S-S-Y, that's a derogatory term for people who are cisgendered. And you guessed it, it was created by the trans community. The very same community that says we're sick and tired of people bullying us for our gender choices. Don't you dare call them a faggot, because that's insensitive. If they call you a fucking sissy, you better check your cis privilege, you fucking bigot. And I'm like, yeah, but if it's wrong for me to bully you for being trans, then it should be wrong for you to bully me for being cisgendered. It's the thing called equality.
When I was 18, rent was $450 and I could afford to get my own place. She's so spot on. Nothing's...
Oh, I know the feeling. When I got my first apartment, it was like $500 a month, and then it very slowly started increasing, and I was just like, no. Another person comments, oh yeah, Tommy Loren is so spot on. Oh my god, you guys. Nothing screams like, I'm a loser, run for me, like that than a guy still living at home in his parents' house with his 12-year-old boy's bedroom decor at the age of 30. Thank God we raised our sons to be real men who grew up, lived on their own, found their soulmate, got married, bought a beautiful home, and started a family. Except soulmates do not exist. You will find people that you'll connect with and balance you out, but the idea of soulmates, they don't exist. Like, if I found the goth chick of my dreams who loved Sharon Osbourne as much as I loved Ozzy, and we both loved to drink, and we both played guitar, and we both liked snakes, and we both had similar interests, and she was like everything I wanted in a woman, and then some, and like hot enough to make my ex-crushes a little bit jealous, you know, kind of thing, I'd be like, alright, well then I'll be eating my words, but until then, I don't believe in it. And that being said, the best revenge you can get on your ex-crushes is to move on and find someone younger and attractive. And by the time all my ex-crushes are 40 and bitching about men because every guy they dated was a piece of shit, wah, I'm going to be sitting there dating a chick in her 20s who's like 10,000 times hotter. And they're going to see that and go, you know what? Good for Josh. Because when men turn 34, we start to hit our stride, you know? Women turn 34 and they start to realize if they haven't found a man yet to start a family with, it's never going to happen. And then eventually their uterus will dry out. Like, your uterus is more drier than a nun's cunt. Well then. There's way too much pressure on women to have kids and get married. And it's sad, but what do you do? Laugh at it, because women control the dating scene. Women are the gatekeepers to sex. Men are the gatekeepers to a relationship. So because women are the gatekeepers to sex, when I hear Tommy Loren from Fox News bitching, shooting off her fucking pretty little blonde clam because she can't find a man to fucking be with, I'm laughing my ass off. And I'm sitting here like, women do not have to try that hard to get laid. They don't. And like, you know what pisses me off about dating? If you try to pursue a woman, you're a stalker, you're a creep, you're a rapist, and blah, blah, blah. And then if you don't pursue her, that's because you can't handle a strong woman, and you're probably a fag. So I'm like, which is it? You want us to pursue you, or you want us to leave you alone? And then you'll bitch and go on social media because men are trash and you can't find a good man in your life. And I'm over here like Terrence Pop. And eventually you'll find that one woman, fellas, that you want to spend the rest of your life with. And when it happens, glorious. You can't rush a good thing. So just be patient and keep doing your thing. And don't let these slags get you down. And remember, men are the prize because we are the providers. You heard Tommy Loren on that Fox News panel. Like, she wants a man who's strong and provides and protects, but she shouldn't have to do anything to earn it. And I'm sitting here like, right. Right. The entitlement.
I'm a loser, run from me, than a guy living at home in his parents' house with his 12-year-old boy's bedroom decor at age of 30. Thank God we raised our sons to be men, who grew up, lived on their own, found their soulmate.
To be men. Oh, you gotta be a man. Yeah, but we live in a society where the adults who are running our society, half of these morons, can't even define what a man or a woman is, and yet they still expect you to respect their gender pronouns. I'm sitting here like, I need a drink. Y'all are retarded. Hold up.
Married, bought a beautiful home, and started a family. I was out the door at 18, worked on the assembly line at Dodge, and in the Air Force at 19. Never.
My point exactly. When I turned 18, 19, 20 years old, I had just gotten kicked out of Job Corps for smoking pot. And my parents are like, well, if you don't like our rules, then fucking move out, you know. So I cashed in my great-grandma Palmer savings bonds that she's been giving me since I was a kid. And I used it to get my first apartment. And I got a job at Wendy's. And I made it happen. So, it is what it is. And now my YouTube trolls bully me nonstop to the point where I can't get a regular job here in town without getting fired because of my fucking asshole trolls. I rely on what I do to make money. I sell tactical soap, I sell t-shirts, I make my wands, I make my music through deathbed tapes, and I make YouTube videos where I do food reviews. In fact, I just uploaded a new food review just recently trying the Arby's cheesesteak sandwich, which I thought was pretty fucking tasty. And at Arby's, I would keep that on your menu.
Back home. I can't relate to this. Yes, we know you people can't relate. We know. But the world has changed. Why can't you people get this through your heads? I will never let my sons stay home. I'm trying to push them out of the nest. Okay, I really gotta ask, is this an Anglo thing? Immediately kicking your kid out when they turn 18 years old? My Mediterranean mind cannot comprehend this. And honestly, why the f*** would a man leave home, leave his mother's cooking, for a woman who probably can't cook? Not me, though. Personally, I can cook amazing homemade meals. I'll have you know I am a great trad wife.
A trad wife? Winning! And like if women... excuse me. If women choose to be trad wives, I say go for it. Do you, girl. Do your thing. But like women should not be forced into like this kind of lifestyle, because when I was dating Jessica Boyle, you heard her on camera. She was like, "Oh, Joshy, I just want to be your little 50s housewife." And I looked at Jessica Boyle and I says, honey, women are more than that. You need to have more self-worth in yourself. Come on. We came this close to having a female president, but it's not going to happen. Oh. Because our society's sexist. Like the only reason why women get away with being sexist towards men is because men are sexist towards women. It is what it is. And at one point, when men were sexist towards women, like in the 1950s kind of thing. You were not allowed to call it out as a woman back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So now it's become this kind of flip-flop where now the roles are gender reversed and nothing makes sense anymore. And I'm like, can we stop being sexist towards each other and stop making it about gender, religion, race, sexuality, etc.
Bone apple teeth. Now, unfortunately, Tommy Lauren wasn't the only one pushing this stupid lazy young men go get a job bullshit. Mike Johnson did it, referencing 29-year-old.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, it's not for 29-year-old males to be sitting on their couch playing video games. This idea that, because you receive benefits, that all you do is just sit on your ass and play video games. I'm like, what if they're so disabled they can't work and that's their only source of income? What are they supposed to do for money? I'm sorry, but the Republicans on this are wrong in this sense. The idea of we don't want healthy 20-year-old, 29-year-old men just sitting on their ass and playing video games, mooching off of our society. I'm like, that is a negative stereotype. There are some people out there who abuse the system, but not everyone who receives beneficial pay is a mooch. Like, I have a hard time getting a regular job myself because my trolls are fucking losers who do anything they can to harass me and ruin my life. So I've been forced to do what I do on YouTube and hope that it all just works out. If I could make $1,000 a month just doing YouTube videos, I would not be complaining. So if you want to help Cobra make that dream a reality, subscribe to the channel, fuckers.
Men playing video games all day. Steve Scalise did it with 35-year-old men playing video games all day. And just the other night, I saw this.
Oh yeah, you're sitting in your mom's basement playing video games. Fuck off.
On my TV. Again.
A Wall Street Journal headline got our attention. The new dream job for young men, stay-at-home son. It's a phrase taken off since 27-year-old Brendan Leo won $59,000 on Jeopardy, and he has a master's degree in...
Oh, that's not my dream job. My dream job would be to go on stage playing my guitar and doing stand-up comedy. I'm just saying. But there's so many awesome rock stars out there who are already doing the whole on-stage playing live for their fans kind of thing. Busting out smoking cannabis in the clock tower. Down. And the problem with this is the music I make is too avant-garde. And a lot of people are like, oh, Cobra, yeah, he's an acquired taste. His videos are weird. His food hacks are gross. And eventually, once people catch on to the Cobra thing, it'll just snowball and I'll be just fine, It'll take off. But when I want it to take off YouTube, I gotta work for it. I'm not going to kiss any celebrity's ass to make it happen. If I want to be super famous, I'm going to work for it. Even if that means sitting on my butt, having a drink, and providing content for my amazing fans. Because the way I look at it, YouTube is a job.
Science, but he's unemployed. Grow up, get a job, get a wife, build a family.
Just get a wife, bro. Just get a...
There's way too much pressure on, like, dudes and chicks to do it and start a family, and I'm just, like, so fucking sick of it.
bro.
Get a job? Yeah, just get.
How are you supposed to find a wife when, like, women are more picky than I am when it comes to dating? I'm just asking for a friend. We're like, okay, you're a guy and you like chicks who got a nice butt and nice big old titties and a pretty face. You're seen as a male pig, a typical guy, a typical guy. But when she has her preferences, well, a girl's gonna have her needs. That is hypocrisy at its finest. So, like, the way I see it, women and men have no right to complain about dating when people are just cocksuckers to each other, but I digress.
I'm gonna strap on my job helmet and squeeze that into a job cannon and fire off into jobland! We're jobs growing jobbies!
The term welfare queen must have fell out of fashion with Republicans, because it seems even they know the approved, safe demographic to go after now. Because it's very obvious what demographic they are talking about when they say young men in their basements playing video games. This just get a job lazy attitude is not surprising, but it's a...
This idea that, oh, you're just a stupid troll living in your mom's basement, or you get benefits, you're just living in your mom's basement, blah, blah, blah. It's like, that's not always the case.
Really funny coming from Fox News of all places. Fox News that...
A lot of my YouTube trolls are just adults who are struggling with adulting and basic human needs like the rest of us. And that, or they're just bored. They spend all day taking crap from their wife, taking crap from their kids, taking crap from their job, and they feel like they have no escape and no release. And then they see my autistic ass and they think, oh, easy targets.
Spends so much time yapping about immigrants taking American jobs. Fox News will talk for years about how Americans are being screwed.
Yeah, I like how Fox News, exactly. I like how Fox News wants to sit there and bitch. Be like, they took our jobs! To quote South Park. All these goddamn immigrants are taking our jobs. Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, hey, you Republican cocksucking asshole, you do realize that America was founded by immigrants taking people's land and stealing their resources? Then you want to sit here and claim you're all about America. That's fucking rich. And then you won't complain when it's cheap labor, yes men to do your job, versus some entitled Gen Zer who's like, oh my god, what happened? They mislabeled my pronouns and now I need a month to deal with this anxiety. Wham! Ah, go fuck yourself. I'm like, they mislabeled your pronouns, you poor thing. Pronoun culture is fucking retarded.
Out of the workforce. But when this issue manifests itself in Gen Z, suddenly it's a moral failure. The fact is, a lot of American jobs held by men are being lost to automation, offshoring, and yes, cheap foreign labor. Companies and billionaires would rather have cheap labor that they can essentially abuse, not pay fair wages to, just good little worker drones who won't unionize, rather than hire American workers for a living wage. The cheaper the labor they hire, the more money they make. I remember when Bernie Sanders called open borders a Koch brothers conspiracy.
Open border coordinate. Open borders.
Bernie motherfucking Sanders, yeah. You know why? You know why fucking a circle of protection around Bernie Sanders. I hope he lives a long life. The reason why Bernie Sanders is not our president is because our country is anti-Semitic and sexist. This is exactly why Kamala Harris and Bernie didn't make the cut. And because Kamala Harris is kind of a cunt, The second she's like, everybody just needs to be woke, I wanted to throw up in my fucking mouth. Because I hate woke culture. This condescending, I'm going to talk down to you like you're stupid. Because you're not informed on the issues. Like, I'm better than you because I'm woke, you know? I hate woke culture. Fucking can't stand it. Woke culture is shit, and then shitting on woke culture is pretty lame too, so take a shot for Bernie and move on with the video. Like, I like how, like, Rachel Ziegler with the new Snow White movie is just like, nobody's gonna want to watch it, the movie's gonna flop, and then she throws a fit because nobody came to watch it. I'm like, you couldn't be bothered to hire real little people to play the dwarfs in the new Snow White. You'd rather use shitty CGI. And this idea of, it's a modern feministic adaptation of Snow White. She's not being stalked and creeped on by the man. Weird. And then you'll bitch because he won't pursue you. Why? Because I'm not pretty enough? Fuck you, chauvinistic pig. Because, like, women want to be pursued, and then when they're pursued by a guy they don't find attractive, they throw a fit and say it's stalking and it's rape and it's creepy. But when it's a guy they find super attractive that doesn't give them a chance, well, he's a pig and all men are the same. But, you know, apparently I'm a pig because supermodels don't find me attractive. Right.
The Koch brothers' proposal, which says essentially there is no United States.
But it would make a lot of global poor richer, wouldn't it?
It would make everybody in America poor. Then you're doing away with.
That's what it is, Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders gets it. The rich keep us poor. The pharmaceutical companies keep us sick. The prescription drugs are overpriced and have too many side effects to one solution. How is it that, like, you're taking pills for your depression? They're called antidepressants. And you still have thoughts of suicide while taking said antidepressants. Not very effective. Like, in clinical trials, it worked to a point, but I'm like, that's because there's more money in keeping people sick and keeping people broke. And it just keeps the rich and the elite powerful and rich, while the rest of us squabble in poverty. Like, when I got kicked out of my last apartment, and I started looking around for places, fucking, they were selling apartments, like 1-bedroom apartments, for $1,000 a month. Back when Biden was president, you know, fucking, they're sitting there charging you. You're gonna charge me $1,000 a month for a 1-bedroom apartment? Not many people can afford that, dude. I'm just saying. Like, you look at, like, apartment prices in, like, urban areas like New York or Los Angeles. What are we supposed to do when it's like they screw us out of our Medicaid and, like, prescription drugs are ridiculously expensive and you can't afford a hospital visit, you can't afford your groceries, and the food they're giving us is pumped full of hormones? You know, it's fucking sad. America, in my opinion, is the greatest country on the planet. In my opinion, America is the greatest country on the planet. And there's no reason why Americans should have to choose between, oh shit, some shit happened, now you gotta go to the hospital, now you're stuck with a hospital bill. Like, there's no reason why we shouldn't have universal health care. That's just my opinion. legalize prostitution for 21 and up, legalize all drugs for 21 and up, and give us universal health care and cheap, affordable, and effective prescription drugs that actually do what the fuck they say they're going to do. Enough of this, we're going to keep them sick because it makes Big Pharma richer bullshit. That's what it is. There's more money in keeping people sick because it keeps Big Pharma full of money. They call it the Hippocratical Oath, more like the hypocritical oath, because you're sitting there preaching health and like this and that, but like, come on, dude. Side effects may include diarrhea, uncontrollable farting, nosebleeds, excessive burping, and sleepiness, thoughts of suicidal depression, erectile dysfunction, the inability to control whether or not you crap your pants. If side effects worsen, please consult your doctor and quit taking those pills. I'm just sitting here like, I got my antidepressant right here. Like, oh, but alcohol's a depressant. I'm like, yeah, well, life is depressing, so life's a bitter shame.
Of the nation state.
Where'd that guy go? A lot of these jobs being taken are jobs traditionally held by men, like construction and factory jobs, manual labor work. But it's not just manual labor jobs, it's also the tech industry and business.
And like pretty much every election that I was able to vote for, I always voted for Bernie Sanders. And like the last couple of elections, I wasn't able to vote this election because when I got to the voting booth, there was a line around the block, and it was piss-ass cold, and there were people out there, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to sit here and freeze my ass off just to vote and wait just to be told that, well, your candidate didn't get picked. Suck it. So I'm like, because I didn't vote, I have no right to complain if Trump's president because I didn't tough it out in the cold to vote, so it is what it is.
Industry, which are careers also mainly held by men. There are many examples of this, such as Microsoft recently cutting thousands of American workers while requesting 14,000 more H-1B workers this year. Some of those job positions include data scientists, which are 70% men, software developers, which are 80% men, and electronic engineers, which are 90% men.
So if like all these high-tech jobs are cutting our jobs, they're taking away our Medicaid. They're making prescription drugs and groceries super expensive. We don't have access to universal health care and a more sustainable, cheaper, and economic way of living. And then you want to complain because when women are just as entitled and shallow as the men they complain about, and then complaining because all these men want to do is sit in their mommy's basement and DoorDash and play video games. I'm like, well, can you blame them? Can you fucking blame them? Dude. The reason why I like using DoorDash is because I can have it dropped off to my door if I need groceries or I'm planning a food hack. Make sure my finances are in order and then make it happen. I don't gotta bug my parents for a ride. Like, as far as I'm concerned, my parents have already done enough for me, and I'm eternally grateful. For my stepmom and my dad, I'll drink to that.
And many more like that. Another example of this was Tesla, where roughly 15,000 American employees were fired in April 2024, and many were replaced with H-1B visa holders. On Twitter, Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy tried to chalk this up to these immigrants just simply being the best and the brightest. Yeah, okay. You're paying them less for longer hours and more work, and they're willing to deal with it in order to stay in the country. It's coercive, exploitative, and, dare I say, not very America first.
That's what I'm saying. You're making them work more hours for less pay. And the way I see it, if you're an American, you should be able to make a living wage. regardless of what job it is. I don't give a fuck. Either like housing and groceries need to get cheaper, or like people should be paid a living wage. Regardless of said job, whether you work at Mickey D's or you have a basic tech job, you know. There's no reason why Americans in one of the richest countries on the planet shouldn't be able to make a living wage. That's just my opinion. I'm just saying. This whole get a job, bro. You sound just like my YouTube trolls. The same assholes. Like, oh, Josh is working at Wendy's, so you know what we're going to do? We're going to submit a false customer complaint and pretend to be a customer that ate at the Wendy's that Josh worked at and get him fired from his job and harass every job he tries to get here in good old Casper, Wyoming, so he can't maintain a regular job, and then shove it in his fucking face and tell him he needs to get a job. Like, oh yeah, we're going to scare off and harass every chick he tries to talk to, and then call him a creep and a stalker for those chicks, and then tell him, you need to get laid, Cobra. And it's like, you need to leave me the fuck alone and get a fucking life. Jesus Christ. My YouTube trolls are more obsessed with me than Jessica Boyle is, and it's not healthy. Piss and shit all over Epstein's grave. It's not healthy, YouTube. My troll's obsession with me. Did you just say, yeah, I said what I said, piss and shit all over Epstein's grave. No apologies. I hate that piece of shit. I watched Blair White interview an Epstein victim on her channel, and then come to find out Jeffrey Epstein has got a small dick. That's TMI for myself personally, but at the same time, I thought it was kind of funny. Kind of like how Adolf Hitler had one testicle and a micro penis, you know. I'm sitting there like, huh, 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 huh. You know what pisses me off about Jeffrey Epstein is like, would you let your own daughters, sincerely, would you let your own daughters go through the crap that he put women through? If you were willing to do that to your own fucking daughter, then you're a piece of shit. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, would Jeffrey Epstein do this crap to his own daughters? If the answer is no, then why do it to someone else's daughter? That's what I'm saying, dude. You can't talk about Hillary Clinton wearing her owl mask on that one cult that goes to that island, and Bill Clinton hanging out with Epstein on Epstein Island. That's how you piss off certain people. Shh. As far as I'm concerned, Jeffrey Epstein's a loser and a creep. I would never grape women or anyone in general. I don't give a fuck how badly I want sex, dude. Treat others the way you want to be treated. If someone hurt someone I cared about, I'd lose my shit.
Confronted Elon Musk for this last year. He told somebody, and I quote, "Take a big step back and yourself in the face. I will go to war on this issue, the likes of which you cannot possibly comprehend." So when it comes to replacing American workers in manual labor with cheap foreign labor, it's deport, deport, deport. But when it comes to replacing his American workers with cheap foreign labor, it's yourself in the face. Interesting.
And that's what I'm saying. How are these men supposed to get a job when the cost of living is going through the roof, and then companies would rather hire cheap foreign labor than actual Americans? Got an ad here. Hold up. Skip.
There's also affirmative action and DEI, which are other things Fox News always pisses and shits about. But suddenly, when the conversation is about Gen Z men, the demographic of people who are victims of these things, suddenly these things just, like, don't exist anymore. Then it's, oh, young men are all just lazy. They just want to be in their parents' basement, ordering DoorDash and playing video games. But it's not just the brown people taking your jobs.
Fucking Shoe on Head is so edgy with her videos, and she gets away with it because she's pretty, but that's beside the point.
Not beating the allegations with this one. The brown people are not taking your jobs, okay? It's not their fault. They're just cheaper. Aim upwards. But it's not just the brown people taking your jobs. It's the women, too. Many of the dyeing industries are male-dominated, while many of the growing industries are female-dominated, and stigma around these jobs being woman jobs usually stops men from working them. Women are overwhelmingly entering and excelling.
And that's the thing I would ask my YouTube trolls, is how would it feel if my YouTube fans treated my trolls the same way they treated me, and then some, and way worse? My YouTube trolls would fucking hate life more than they already do hate it. My adult juice is empty. I want another cup. Okay. And speaking of adult juice, YouTube, I will be making another jar of apple silk. I made a jar of it before the Black Sabbath concert, and it was so damn good I couldn't help myself. I ended up drinking the entire jar before the concert even aired. I'm like, it don't matter. It's like, oh look, does that make me Jesus because I turn water into wine? Okay. He turned apple juice into wine. Humana. I have this thing called smartass syndrome. It's very contagious. And what causes smartass syndrome? Gee, I don't know what could cause smartass syndrome. Certainly not the alcohol that I'm consuming right now. No, not in the slightest. And one of my fans sent me like literally 2 plastic bottles of Everclear, and I'm like, you guys are dicks. Yeah. I'm sitting there trying to cut down on my drinking, allegedly. Yeah. And I'm like, Everclear is potent, my dudes. And they're sending this to me because they want to see me go live and get blackout drunk and make an ass of myself on camera. And like, all kinds of dumb shit. They're not doing it because they care about Cobra. They're like, I want to, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not stupid. That's why, you know what? I've tried getting blackout drunk a couple of times, and my tolerance to alcohol has gotten so strong anymore that I don't get blackout drunk anymore. I might catch a small buzz, but that's the worst of it. Oh. You good, Cobra? Yeah, we good. Oof.
in college and the workforce, and they're more flexible about job position and pay, while young men usually hold out for higher paying, higher position jobs that will make them the breadwinner. Because you see, despite the world progressing and the role of women changing, the role of men has not changed. Everyone...
That's what I'm fucking saying, Shoein-head. God bless you, sweetheart. Lilith and Hecate be praised. Praise the inner female goddess. She's 100% correct. We live in a world where, like, the role of women is changing, but the role of men has not changed. Men will always be expected to be the providers and the protectors. And if we try, it's benign sexism. If we don't try, chivalry's dead, and it's mentally frustrating. It's beyond frustrating. If I built my clock tower dream house, I'd have so many guns. Every gun I've ever wanted. M1 Garand, a Tommy gun, a Colt King Cobra in 1911, a Beretta M9, Uzi, and AK, whatever. Winchester 1894, you know. You want to watch some good gun porn? Check out Hickok 45. This old dude he just goes out with his son John, and they shoot guns and they just do their thing, you know. It's wholesome, and it's what gun enthusiasm should be about. Not all the political jargon. All the political jargon that you see on YouTube regarding the radical left and their hatred of guns, and, you know. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but sitting there hating guns when people are the ones that made guns in the first place, I'm just saying. This is why when I'm like, the gun problem is a people problem, because people can't be responsible with their guns. People can't be nicer to each other or take responsibility for their actions or be like, you know, I'm having a bad day, so fuck it. You know what I want to do? I want to bullshit and watch YouTube and ignore it, you know? I fucking hate mass shootings more than I love guns. And to be quite honest with you, I would sacrifice my double-barrel 12-gauge shotgun to end mass shootings, if that's what it took. There's just too much violence and hatred in our society, you know? And it's fucking sad, you'd say, but it makes me sad. And then I get over my sadness by going, hey, you know what? I'm going to look up an M1 Garand on YouTube. Some dude's got an M1 Garand from World War II, and he's sitting there shooting off a clip. Ching! That's the sound. That's the sound, YouTube. Ching! If I built my clock tower dream house, I'd have a Hickok 45 style shooting range behind my house. I would. I want to build my clock tower dream house on like 20 acres of land, and then cover the entire property with maple trees, willow trees, and pine trees to create like a forest of my own, you know. I'd have my own moonshine making distiller. I'd have my own shooting range. And it'd be private property, so you couldn't do shit about it. There'll be a sign on the front of my gate. Trespassers will be shot. Survivors will be shot again. And welcome to Wyoming. Consider everybody armed and dangerous. That's our state slogan, good old Wyoming, is welcome to Wyoming. Consider everybody armed and dangerous. We love our trucks, we love our beer, and we love our guns. If that offends you, kiss my American ass. Oh yeah, Wyoming is a gun-friendly state, and I love it. But I digress.
the feminist until the dinner bill comes. But what's crazy is, women might be the ones paying...
And you know, why is that? Because I'm watching these TikTok videos of these women who are like, the biggest turnoff in a man is that when she offers to pay for the meal, he says go for it, or he offers to pay for half, and then she proceeds to complain, shooting off her clam and saying he's a broke ass bitch with a small dick, blah blah blah, wah. And it's like, yeah, that's kind of bullshit, because it's like, men are expected to pay for everything, and like, I have no problems having a woman's input in my life. Men are expected to pay for everything, you know. So like, if a woman offers to pay for a date, you know what I'm gonna say? Well, can I pay for half, or at least eat your pussy out later on because you bought drinks? Yeah. Yeah! It's like, oh, you offer to pay for half, and it's like, it's because women can be just as financially independent as men, you know? And like, the second you offer to pay for half, you're a broke bitch. But if you insist on paying for everything, you know, women will use that as an excuse to be like, well, he's a raging sexist who can't handle a woman's input. And then the second you offer to let her pay for shit, you're a small dick broke bitch piece of shit who ain't got no fucking job, probably living at home in your mama's basement, ordering DoorDash. And I'm like, why do you have to shit on DoorDash, not a sponsor? What's wrong with you? Yeah, DoorDash is expensive, but it is what it is. I'm sitting here like, okay, so what do you want? I'll pay for the meal if I have the if I have the money, because that's what it is. Men are expected to provide and protect, and I'll do that because no one's gonna protect me outside of my family and my fans. Like, I'm very protective of women and children and animals and old people. And if that makes me an evil piece of shit, well, I guess call me Lord Voldemort, you know? Fucking A. And I'm sitting here like, it is what it is. Like, she wants to pay for it because she's a girl boss and she got this. She don't need a man in her life to pay for it. I'm like, alright, honey, do what you want to do. I'm not here to fight. I'm just here to make love and eat your pussy out. Like, shit. Like, oh, you're on your period? Well, that sucks. Can I make my world famous chicken, bacon, white wine, Alfredo pasta? Good wine and good pasta and good cuddles. You want to watch a chick flick? You want to, like, you know, you pick the movie. I'll watch it with you. What's your favorite? Oh, my favorite movie's Tombstone. If you don't want to watch a violent western, then, you know. And that's what kills me about Jessica Boyle. She's sitting there like, all I want to do is watch Tombstone with Joshy. I'm like, okay, if you really wanted to watch it, then you'd shut your fucking clam. How do Western guns work? I'm like, okay, so a movie that's like 95% gunfights and grit. I wonder how Western, you know, the only inaccurate thing about Western guns and Tombstone is when Doc Holliday fires 3 shots with his double barrel. That's the only thing that's inaccurate. Horse takes off, and he's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no. They only get 2 shots. Only 2 shots. That's the only thing that's inaccurate about. And like, I'm not complaining because Tombstone is such a good movie. There's something about cuddling with your girlfriend right at the end of Tombstone when Val Kilmer dies, and then like his buddy Wyatt Earp is approaching Josephine, and she's like, "Oh, it's you," and he's like, "I have no dignity, I have no pride. I don't know how we're gonna make a living, but I promise to love you the rest of my life." And they have a sloppy little movie kiss. And she's like, "Don't worry, Wyatt, my family's rich." Yeah. What should we do first? The first thing you wanted to do when we first met, remember? No. May I have this dance? And then we'll have room service. And he, hat in the air kind of thing. The look on Josephine's face when her little boy toy got shot. Oh my God, what happened? They shot him and he called them cowards. And Josephine looks at all the men in that movie and she goes, "I don't understand the world you live in. All I know is it's ugly. You all are violent and ugly people." I've been really fucking depressed since Val Kilmer died. He fucking crushed it in Tombstone. He's one of my favorite actors, but I'm like, there's nothing you can do about it. He had his ailments, that made life a living hell. Val Kilmer basically died of throat cancer and pneumonia. And the only thing comforting about Val Kilmer dying is that he's no longer in pain. He's looking down from heaven, whatever he believes in religiously, smiling at all of his friends and family and closest fans and everything.
Bill soon. A study from the UK found women aged 22 to 29 earned.
So, what are you supposed to do with a study from the UK? It says young women now earning more than men. Women in their 20s are now earning more money than men of the same age, research indicates, because companies refuse to fucking hire your ass because you're a man and you're white, and therefore there's not enough diversity in the workforce. And I'm like, who gives a fuck about any of that? If they're qualified to do the job, who cares if they're black or white, So then when you got women now who are earning more money than the men that they complain about while still being able to divorce us and rape us in court for child custody payments, I'm just sitting here like, yeah, I can't imagine why men would rather stay single and just play video games. I really can't begin to. I'm like, okay, because what it is, they miss the dick, and now that's what they're going to complain about. These young women who are now making more money than the men that they complain about, then they'll complain because they can't get any dick. And it's like, well, if you're sitting here like Tommy Loren saying, well, quite frankly, I think all men are trash. I'm sitting here like, yeah, I can't imagine why you can't find a husband. I can't begin to fucking imagine why the fuck you're having a hard time finding a man. I'm like, I don't want to start a family until I build my clock tower dream house. At that point, I'd teach my kid to shoot guns and believe in themselves. Yes, sir. Hey, daddy, what? What? Can we shoot guns and ring the clock bells? I suppose. What do you want for breakfast, champ? You want a bowl of cereal? Or a sandwich? You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't have to worry about my kid getting kidnapped or anything like that. I'd like go outside and play. My clock tower dream house would have 20 acres of forest to play in, you know. And I would make a fort for my kid. Me and my dad would come over with some nails and some wood, and we'd build a little fort in the backyard. I would attach a miniature bell tower on top of that fort and put like small bells in it, you know, like the kinds you see on your steam locomotives, or like your schoolyard, you know, little ranch hand bells kind of thing. Just a bunch of those smaller bells in there so it'd make my kid feel like, I got a bell tower just like Daddy. That's cool as shit. I'm like, there you go. Yeah. Like, we got a bunch of nails, a bunch of wood, and a bunch of bells, and some beer. Well, God damn it, we'll make it happen. Yes, sir. Like, you got a little fort in the backyard? That's all for you, champ. What color do you want me to paint it? And that being said, I would protect my demon spawn and my baby mama with my life. As one would expect, I would be very protective of my kid and my old lady, you know? Like, oh, you're fucking with my little demon spawn, you're fucking with my cobra angel. Well, I'm gonna fuck you up. How about that? Like, we got 20 acres of land out in the countryside of Casper, Wyoming.
1,000 more annually than men, completely reversing the traditional.
Okay, yeah, exactly. When traditional roles are fucking reversed, and I'm like, fuck your traditional roles. You know, this idea that women belong in the kitchen, this and that. I'm like, fuck that, dude. Men should know how to cook too, and I'm just saying, YouTube, your boy Cobra makes a mean rack of barbecue ribs. I don't gotta fucking use a barbecuer to do it. This one time when Jessica Boyle came to visit me, we're having this nasty ass fight, and she's laying in bed feeling sorry for herself. And I'm like, well, fuck her. And I started doing my cooking video, like, what up, YouTube? So check out the barbecue ribs I'm making. I start throwing on my sauce, my seasoning, doing my thing with the barbecue ribs. And you know what Jessica Boyle says? She's like, shit, those ribs smell good. I'm like, that's what I'm fucking saying. And I'm like, nope, Jessica Boyle ain't worth the squeeze. Her uterus will dry out eventually and she'll no longer be able to produce kids. And honestly, the thought of Jessica Boyle having kids scares the shit out of me. Leave me alone, I'm washing my face. So unlike some areas of instances where women are now earning more money than men, on top of being able to divorce them and sue them for everything they've got and screw them out of divorce payments, etc. I honestly, and then you have women like Tommy Loren who are so stuck up and entitled, like, oh, I don't gotta do anything to earn your protection and your keep. And I'm like, you should protect and provide for women regardless if you get sex out of the deal. That's just my opinion, because nobody gives a fuck about men's rights. And that way, if she gets mad and bitchy and moany and minging on about it, you can be like, well, I'm a solid dude, so like, I don't know what your problem is. Yeah. Because it's treat others the way you want to be treated, YouTube. If a woman treated me like shit and didn't appreciate what I provided for her, I'd be like, fuck this. I am worth too much on the dating scene. You can suck my dick. You want to fuck the patriarchy so hard, baby girl. You want to fuck the patriarchy? Whip my willy out and start giving it a suck and a tug and see where it goes.
Pay gap for this age group. In the U.S., a 2022 Pew Research Center.
Oh, and do you think men are allowed to complain when women can rape them in the ass with divorce court payments? Or when, like, women make more money on the job market? Fuck no. We get told to quit being a raging sexist and to check our male privilege. I'm like, what privilege? Women are allowed to hit men, and if men hit them back in self-defense, we're monsters who hit women, and if we don't defend ourselves, we're faggots and pussies who got our asses kicked by a girl. So that when you see a bunch of trans women beating the shit out of cis women in like trans sports competitive leagues, I'm sitting here like, oh my god, and they can't say shit about it because that makes them transphobic. I'm sitting here like, oh, the irony is delicious. And women who complain about that crap, I'm like, welcome to how men feel. We're not allowed to hit women back in self-defense. As women are beating the shit out of us, we gotta sit here and take it. If we hit them back, we're automatically the piece of shit. And I'm like, this is why trans people should have their own sports leagues, but I digress.
Showed that women under 30 out-earned men.
So in New York, Washington, D.C., and Los Angeles metropolitan areas are among the cities where young women are earning most relative to young men in both New York City and Washington, D.C. metro areas, blah, blah, blah. Young women earn 102% more of the money that young men earn when examining median annual earnings among full-time. And that's what I'm saying. When women start making more money than men, men are not going to be allowed to complain about sexism or how fuck the patriarchy and how come she makes more money than I do. I'm like, they're going to be told to shut the fuck up. They'll get punched in the face. They'll be told to fucking quit being a pussy and check your male privilege. And it's like, well, I didn't think you had it in you. I'm your Huckleberry. Sitting here like, well, welcome to being a man in 2025. Wow. And me personally, I'm not complaining about it. If women make more money than I do doing my thing on YouTube, I say have at it, hoss. Then you can't complain about the patriarchy and like, you know, the pay gap being sexist when you're the ones earning more money. I'm like, oh, that's why you're a pig, Josh, because that's too far. I guess the truth. How you gonna fucking sit there and complain about men making more money when the modern woman makes more money than men these days, when the gender roles are reversed? Like, I'm just saying. And I'm all for it. Like, earn your keep. Do your thing, you know.
Many metropolitan areas, with median earnings at or above 100% of men's.
Because I would never expect a woman to fetch my pipe and slippers and make me a Jack Daniels and Monster after a long day, because it's like, what are you going to do for her? You know? Because women and men expect so much of each other, you know, but it's like, what are you going to do for them? Because relationships are give and take, my friends. If you want the success and the keys to that Shelby Cobra fast past fucking awesome relationship, I want to give you the keys. Never go to bed angry, more sex, better communication, less fighting, never go to bed angry, and don't be afraid to do things for each other, you know, little romantic things, you know, that makes your other half feel handsome or pretty or appreciated. And fellas, rock some tactical soap, because women love the way that stuff smells. You know what I'm saying? Like, never go to bed angry, more sex, better communication, less fighting. And you gotta be there for each other, because life is hard. Life is expensive. All of me loves all of you. Love your curves and all your edges. Give your all to me. I love my singing voice. I know how to sing the songs that chicks go gaga over, dude. And I busted on YouTube, and I'm like, I don't give a shit if you think I'm a faggot and you want to demasculate me as a man. I'm pulling pussy with this without even trying, so what's your deal? And doing it because I love to sing and I like good music. So somehow that makes me a piece of shit because I got sex appeal with the ladies and you don't. Well...
Cities like New York and Washington, D.C. That may not sound like a lot of money now, but it's a growing trend that has never been seen before. It's so bad that it's really starting to affect the dating world. American women have never...
And it shouldn't affect the dating world. That's what I'm saying, shoe on head. If women are making more money than men, if men are not so secure with their masculinity, they can't handle a woman making the bacon, you know what I'm saying, then that's their problem. The way I look at it, if a woman makes more money than I do, I'm like, have at it, Hoss. Do your thing. You're a girl boss. Then you can't complain to me because the minimum wage gap is sexist. Because the second men start complaining that women make more money than they do and it's sexist, men are going to be told, well then maybe you should work harder and get a better paying job, you fucking faggot pussy. You fucking sexist. Why? You can't handle because a woman makes more money than you? Well, you're gonna cry about it? Well. To be fair, men are expected to pay for everything and bring home the bacon. So when a woman makes more money than she does, it can make you feel demasculated. And I'm saying, don't let it demasculate you or humiliate you. If anything, it's more money to contribute to you and her's relationship. If anything, you should support her. It'd be like, you go, girl. You're a goddess. You're a queen. Hecate and Lilith be praised. You're a girl boss. People like Cobra, you fuck with demon magic. What are some good female deities for your Cobra angels to work with? And I'm like, Hecate and Lilith. Yes, sir.
Resigned to staying single. They are responding to major demographic shifts, including huge and growing gender gaps in
getting gender gaps, blah, blah, blah. Gender relations, wow. I like how the radical right's response to this is just get a wife, bro. And I'm sitting here like, yeah, but when women are just as picky and shallow as the men they're complaining about, and then they get pissed off because all the men they don't want, because all the men they don't want them, and the men they do want don't want them, and they'll scream all the usual suspects, body shaming, this and that, wham. I'm like, it's only body shaming when you fat shame fucking fat chicks. Everyone else is like, well, fuck you, get over it. And that's only because women are overly sexualized and they're put underneath all this pressure to be the supermodel, you know. And I'm like, yeah, you know, if she's too fucking skinny, I'm just kind of like, nah. You know, there's a point where it's like, you look at like Eugenia Cooney, and not trying to be that guy, but it's like, oh, that's too skinny, dude. I'm like, I can appreciate a chick with a little bit of meat on her bones. I can appreciate a good woman with some meat on her bones. Gives me something to grab onto when I'm fucking the shit out of her. Okay. Like, I don't feel like I'm gonna break her in half when I'm fucking the shit out of her cunt. I'm just saying. I'm like, how the fuck am I gonna give chicks shit for having a little bit of tummy when it's like, I enjoy fast food and alcohol, you know? I'm just saying. As long as she ain't like Jabba the Hutt status, no offense to anyone, but then I'm not complaining. You know, and it's like, yeah, fat chicks need love too, man. I'm just saying. It's kind of how it is, like, dudes with small dicks get no love, and like chicks who are overweight and have no titties fucking get no love. And I'm like, that's kind of unfair, and it's only called out when men do it, you know? And I'm like, this is why men are sick of it. I'm like, women are just as shallow as men, and everyone has their taste and their standards. So I'm like, have your standards, have your kinks, do your thing. As long as you ain't a goddamn sicko, who gives a shit? But in today's modern society where women are starting to make more money than men, now you can't sit here and scream, fuck the patriarchy, when you're making more money than we do. Oh, wait, you can't play the victim and feel sorry for yourself? Well, that's going to piss off a lot of women, isn't it? And there are women out, there who are victims of some really messed up shit. And I wouldn't call them victims, I'd call them survivors. There are some women out there who are survivors of some really messed up shit, you know? So when you're sitting there complaining because men won't give you dick, and you're mad because you can't find the right guy, I'm like, honey, it could be worse. At least you're not an Epstein victim. Excuse me, did I say that out loud? Piss and shit on Jeffrey Epstein's grave. If there were like a female version of Jeffrey Epstein, she would be praised for being a girl boss. All men want is sex, and look at her crushing it, all these men that want her, because selling sex to men is not exactly that hard. It wouldn't be seen as rape if it happened to a man. That doesn't justify you-know-who's. I fucking hate Jeffrey Epstein. I'm gonna piss and shit all over his grave. I fucking hate Epstein, dude. And it's sitting here like, why is it when like a really hot female teacher molests one of her male students, people don't take it as seriously? They're like, well, how hot was she? Nice. Bro got some trim, yeah. But when it's a creepy male doing it to his female students, oh, what an irrehensible piece of shit. And I'm like, society is so two-faced, double-standard, and hypocritical. And I'm just sick and tired of the system.
Economic and educational attainment, political affiliation, and beliefs about what family should look like. More women than men are attending college, buying houses, and focusing on their friendships and careers over dating and marriage.
As they should. More women than men are attending college, buying houses, and focusing on their friendships, their careers, and dating and marriage. Because women do not need a man to provide for them, and men do not need women to give them sex to be happy in life. That goes for both genders. Wham!
The challenges of finding a romantic partner have been made more complicated by a growing divide in education and career prospects.
No, blah, 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 blah. The challenges of finding a romantic partner have been made more complicated by a growing divide of education and career prospects between women and men. In 2024, 47% of American women ages 25 to 34 had a bachelor's degree, according to a Pew study, compared with 37% of men. A bachelor's degree increases net lifetime earnings by an estimated $1 million. Because men are starting to realize we're the prize, we're the providers, and it doesn't matter how awesome we are, women are always going to fucking hate us. And if we call out the hypocrisy of the double standards, we get told we're a hypocrite. We get told that men need to check their privilege and be nicer to women and this and that. I'm like, yeah, well, respect is a two-way street. People need to be nicer to each other regardless. Like, women are the only ones allowed to hate the opposite sex, and no one calls them a femcel or a lesbian or a man-hating. You can't handle a strong, independent man. The second a man hates a woman, he gets told he's a faggot, he's an incel, that he can't handle a strong, independent woman. He's a piece of shit who probably hates his mother, you know.
Between men and women. In 2024, 40% of American women ages 25 to 34 had a bachelor's degree, according to Pew, compared to 37% of men. A bachelor's degree increases net lifetime earnings by an estimated $1 million. Women are doing comparatively well when it...
Well, that's just it. Having a bachelor's degree in your profession will increase your net lifetime earnings. Kind of a double-edged sword. College is more expensive. Like, college is expensive. Mortgage payments are expensive. Right. Women are doing comparatively well when it comes to education and their early years in the labor force. And men are doing comparatively badly because society has been conditioned to hate men and put women on a pedestal. It is what it is. That does not justify incel behavior, because the way I see it, fuck incels. No one gives a fuck about men's rights. It's politically correct to hate men, but if you hate women, you're a piece of shit. And I'm like, that's kind of a shitty feeling to have. So I'm sitting here like, I'm only going to hate you based off the way you treat me, not based off of your gender or your race or your religion, etc. Piss and shit on Epstein's grave.
to education in their early years in the labor force, and men are doing comparatively badly. Men's economic struggles seem to be having the biggest effect on women without a college degree, whose marriage rates by 45 have plummeted.
So when like the women don't have the college degree and they have to rely on men to provide for them, like men's economic struggles seem to be having the biggest effect on women without a college degree whose marriage rates by 45 have plummeted from 79 to 52%. Jessica Boyle. For those born between 1930 and 1980, yeah, no shit. According to a Cornell University economist, Benjamin, young men without a degree are struggling so much as a group that there simply aren't enough with steady jobs and earnings for non-college women to date. So I like how men are the ones that are expected to have a steady job and provide everything. But if a woman doesn't have it, men are just like, we don't care. It's our job to provide, whether you give us sex or not. So we do it because men are simple creatures of habit. They're like, okay, if I want to see her titties, I want to fuck her in the ass and fuck her pussy. If I wanted to gag on my fucking cock, I can swallow my stubborn male pride and let her think she's right, and I'll be happy. Right. Men are starting to figure it out. Men are the prize, men are the providers.
52% for those born between 1930 and 1980, according to research by Cornell University. Young men without a degree are struggling so much as a group that there simply aren't enough with steady jobs and earnings for non-college women to date. Men are poor, women most affected. Modern women are no longer tied to their gender role. Birth control has freed them from the prison that is their biology, and they...
So because men are poor and because the cost of living is going up, now this affects women because they're constantly sitting there expecting men to provide everything is no more sexist than expecting a woman to suck your dick on the first date because you took her out for a Wendy's bacon cheeseburger. I'm just saying.
Making their own money, sometimes more than men. They can have it all. They can do anything. They can be anything.
Yeah, women can do it all and do anything until it comes to finding a good man that can put up with their bullshit.
Meantime, men are still expected to be the provider. And more importantly, many men still want to be the provider, but...
And that's what I'm saying, shoe on head. Men are expected to be the providers, and most good men want to be the providers because it makes us feel fulfilled as men. And like when most of these modern women are not worth providing for because they just see you as a provider, and then get mad because all women are sitting there throwing a fit because men just see them as sex objects. I'm like, yes, but when you try to weaponize sex against men and reward their bad behavior with good sex, and all it does is reaffirm their bad behavior, they can treat you like shit and still get laid. You're doing it to yourself. The constant score of women that I've seen who are like, oh, I'm not going to date Josh because his trolls are assholes, and I think he's weird, too eccentric, and creepy for my taste. Even though all women secretly crave drama and a little bit of danger in their life. And a man who's not afraid to express their sensitive side, you know. Oh. Just get a wife, bro.
Can't. And women, though strong and independent, still want men to be the provider. And as a woman...
Yeah, how the fuck are women strong and independent if they still want men to be the providers? That's what I'm trying to figure out, shoe on head. I'm sitting here just like... I'm starting to feel a little obnoxious off this vodka, so if I shoot off my mouth and go too far with it... Wow. Even all the men on this Fox News panel from Piers Morgan, cheers mate, this guy, and this guy right here, and then Tommy Lorenz shooting off her fucking cunt. You know, I'm just saying.
Want a strong man who is a protector and a provider that will go to war if need be, that will protect.
It's like, oh, Tommy Loren wants a strong man who's a protector and a provider who can go to war if need be. And I'm like, well, I'm a little too old for that, for the draft. I'm 34, so tough tits on that. It's a damn shame because I wanted to kill people for my government. Hand me a can of dog food and a sawed-off shotgun and tell me who to shoot, and I'll do it. Kind of too late for that. It's like Tommy Loren wants a man who will provide and protect for her. And I'm like, yeah, well, I want a woman that'll be on birth control and give me sex whenever I want it. And fucking make me a sandwich when I'm hungry. And suck my dick while I'm eating it. And fetch my pipe in slippers, like the good little 50s trad wife that she is. Yeah, it's not gonna happen, and I would never be that degrading to women. I'm being an ass to prove a point. Like how Tommy Loren's just like, oh, I don't gotta do anything to earn it. It's just expected of men. And then you want to bitch about sexism and like how you're sick and tired of all the gender-based stereotypes that affect men. And the thing of it is, gender-based stereotypes affect men too, just as much as they affect women. You know? Where?
Protect my family, make money.
Basically, men are like, we're worried we're not making enough money. And women are like, we're worried men are not making enough money.
I mean, Shoe had said it. What the fuck is this ad?
I was only 8 during Hurricane Katrina, and because we stayed
20 years after weathering the storm of Hurricane Katrina. Yeah, that's rough. You know, I feel sorry for people who live in areas where hurricanes happen, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, okay, so if you're sick and tired of the hurricanes, stop living in tropical areas where hurricanes are prevalent.
Hello class, I am Miss On Head. I am substituting for your teacher today. She was arrested for molesting a 12-year-old boy. So today,
you sick cunt.
We're learning about the graph. This is the growth in productivity versus hourly compensation graph. And you can trace almost everything bad happening in society back to this graph. As you can see, productivity increased while compensation barely grew over the same time period. Notice they tracked very closely up until around 1972.
And notice me like I'm over this bullshit. I'm over this bullshit. I want to drink my fucking alcohol, smoke my pipe, and be like, you have fun doing what you're doing.
What happened around 1972, class? Well, the top marginal tax rate was reduced from 70% in 1964 to 50% by 1981. The federal minimum wage began to stagnate. Income going to the 1% rose from 9% in the 60s.
People are like, nice Gandalf pipe. My YouTube fans sent me this pipe, and there was a crack in the stem. So I repaired it the best way that I can with some painter's tape, some ponytail holders, and some clear drying Gorilla Glue, and like the stem right here, the cracks. It's fixed. It does what it's supposed to do. It smokes like a proper pipe. And, you know, it has a bit of character to it. They're like, Cobra, nice Gandalf, my brother. You know, like, yeah. But that thunderstorm we had earlier quieted down. Now it's just... that fucker was loud, dude. The second I started doing this video response, I got a huge clap of thunder that was super close to my house, and that fucking shook everything, and I'm like, Jesus.
To 16% in 2023. CEOs also went from making 20 times more than the average worker to making 350 times more than the average worker. Anything else? Anything else happened around 1972? Yes, Jimmy, that is correct. Women joined the workforce around this time, but we don't have to get into that today. The fact is, hard work no longer...
Like, women joining the workforce... Women join the workforce. I'm all for it. There's nothing wrong with women having equal rights to men as far as they should have the right to have a job and make their own money as much as anyone else. Because I get sick and tired of women accusing men of always being sexist and not allowing the girls to have any fun. And it's just like... Right. Right.
Guarantees success, and the will to work is tied to the fruits of your labor. And young men are fed up today because 90% of that fruit is rotten. Now, is there some truth to modern young people being lazy? Sure, I guess. Every generation had lazy people. And we do basically live in late-stage mouse utopia, after all. Young people today are faced with two options: revolution or escapism. And a lot of them are choosing escapism. Many have basically given up, but it's not like they didn't try. They tried, and they found out the juice just isn't worth the squeeze, whether it's college, dating, or the job market. And
that's what I'm saying. And when it comes to like financial independence, it is worth the squeeze. If I could get a job here in town or I didn't have to worry about, like, my YouTube trolls getting me fired or harassing my bosses and my coworkers to where, like, people were just like, no, Cobra, get out of here, you're fired, you know. It'd be a different story. But the way it sits, my YouTube trolls are fucking assholes. Our society is full of entitled pieces of shit. And all I can do is ride the wave and, like, not be so quick to, like, flip out. Because, well, you know what I'm saying. And you should choose revolution over whatever shoe on head said, because our society needs a revolution. We gotta come together as a human race and just knock off all the bullshit and be nicer to each other and fuck sickos. It's not that difficult.
Many young men are kind of choosing revolution. The never-before-seen large shift rightward in young men is a small revolution in a way. They're saying, this isn't working for me, this sucks, I hate this, I want something different. This is also manifesting on the Democrat side in general. The young men that are still voting left are voting further left. You saw this recently in New York City, where Zoran Mamdani, a self-proclaimed Democratic socialist, won the Democratic primary. Young men are tired of the establishment, left and right. They're tired of the system, and they...
Oh, you're tired of the man? You're tired of the man. You're tired of the establishment. You're tired of all the bullshit. Oh, join the club. To quote Jack Black from the School of Rock, step off! You know what I'm saying?
Burn it down and start again. They want something that works for them because this is not working for them.
If some of you were sick and you saw fingers come through the universe, tear it open, the face of God in a cloud said to you, by
the face of God? What the fuck are you smoking? Skip.
Stripes, you... If you...
Is that a Christian ad? Hold up. Would you believe if God spoke to you? Bitch, I am God. Block the ad. I figured that was a Christian ad. I'm like, most people who are being told, yeah, God totally spoke to me, like, oh, you're hearing voices in your head? You're a psychopath, anyways.
You find yourself in a society where 23-year-olds with 4-year college degrees and like initiative who aren't smoking weed every day, if they can't make enough to buy a car, much less a home, much less get married, much less have children, then why should you be surprised when half of them say they prefer socialism?
Huh. Fox News should hire that guy. There is an entire generation of fighting-aged men who are enraged and feel like they have nothing to live for. You should probably start caring. When they saw this airing on Fox News,
You have a lot to live for. 6 a.m. Life is beautiful. Bees, geese. Staying alive. Laughing at life. Ha, 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 ha. Staying alive. I know the future looks bleak, but to all my fellow younger men out there who are much, much younger than me, who watch my videos, look up to me religiously, life is worth living. You just gotta ignore the sickos, ignore the haters, and all the bullshit, and like push through it and just find your niche. And you'll get there eventually. You just gotta keep being awesome.
an angry woman nagging in their faces about how everything wrong in the world is their fault. An all too familiar thing they have been hearing for far too long. But unfortunately,
yeah, like women who are nagging and complaining about the problems are constantly being told it's all their fault, while systematically blaming men for everything. Because don't you dare mansplain to a woman, you sexist. The hypocrisy with our society is so fucking thick, you could cut it with a knife. And I'm just mentally sick of it.
for Democrats, nobody under the age of 60 watches Fox News, so this is not really going to have an effect on young men whatsoever. So keep that $20 million.
That being said, like, this is part of the communication experience. Like, why the fuck are you pissed off? Why the fuck are you in a mood? This and that. And it's like, well, let me tell you.
You might still need it, unless we get dragged into another war in the Middle East. If we do get dragged into another war in the Middle East, young men might come...
Fuck that. If we get dragged into another war with the Middle East, can we just not? If, like, the Palestinians and the Israelis want to fight it out like overgrown fucking immature children and bitch and complain, I say let them fight it out. Let them get it out of their system, because war is nothing more than a dick measuring contest. long as you don't attack America or our allies, I don't give a shit. I don't like the fact that America will butt its head into political issues that don't concern us. If two countries want to be immature little fucking cocksuckers about it, you know what I'm saying? Like, my country's got a bigger dick than your country. No, it doesn't. Wham! Fuck World War III. Thank you. Fuck the nukes. Power to the people. Suck my progressive dick. Okay.
Running back to the Democratic Party. Maybe not even a George Bush 2 electric boogaloo will have men coming back to the Democratic Party. Hopefully we don't find out. And as I'm editing this right now, a lot of young people, even the podcast bros, seem pretty upset about the Epstein thing, but we know Democrats won't take advantage of the situation in order to protect the Clintons, so maybe not even this will save them, but we'll see, I guess. Hold on one second. That's better. So that was that video. What do you think of the male loser epidemic?
I think the male loser epidemic is just an excuse for women to minge on about men while getting and complaining because they don't have more rights. And then the second you give women more rights, now it becomes politically acceptable for them to crap on men because you're living in mommy's basement, you know, piss off. In a society being dominated by women, and then you have the fucking boobs to sit there and complain because men are terrible and women are right, fuck you, don't like it, suck a dick. And I'm sitting here like, suck mine first, you little fucking slut, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, I'm not trying to be a dick. But I'm so sick and tired of women and men treating each other like shit and making it all about gender, religion, race, and skin color. It should be about treat others the way you want to be treated and power to the people. And at some point, it gets a little bit mentally exhausting when nobody cares. It's all about self-gratification and fuck men because they're all the worst, you know. All men are pigs. Wham. You know, I get sick and tired of it. I'm just sitting here like, it doesn't require a whole lot of effort to be nice to each other. Oh, my drink's empty. So I might have to make me another cocktail, close out this video. God knows how long I've spent responding to this 29-minute video. My biggest problem, YouTube, is I care about the issues. And I'm very opinionated, and my opinions are strong. I'm very opinionated, I'm very strong, and sometimes when I bitch about the issues, it comes off as me being a visceral piece of shit. Because people are willing to like complain and bitch, but they're not willing to listen to everyone else complain and bitch, if that makes any sense. People are willing to sit there and bitch and complain, but like not hear each other out. Like, you may not agree with everyone's thought process, but that doesn't make you right, and it doesn't make them wrong, and etc. Like it or not, life sucks. We're all gonna die alone, and life's a bitter shame. All we can do is fucking make the best of it and learn to be nicer to each other. That's all I'm saying.
With Tommy Lauren, is it all men's fault?
Tommy Loren's a fucking hot little piece of ass. And if she can't find fucking good dick to treat her right despite being that hot, then it means you're an insufferable bitch who hates men. Because realistically, women are not going to sit there and date men who are constantly going, oh yeah, blaming women for everything and calling them cunts and dykes and this and that. You know what I'm saying? But like when men hate women, we're all femcells, we're all faggots, we all hate, you know, blah, 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 etc. No homophobia intended. That's just how it is. If men are involuntarily celibates because we're like, unless you find a good woman, it's not worth the squeeze. Women are just as shallow and entitled as the men they bitch about. And then it only gets called out when men do it. If anything, I find the whole experience to be sexually frustrating. And I'm like, okay, you know what? If I want to sit here and binge watch YouTube and pig out on bacon cheeseburgers and not give a fuck what you think about me, then that's what I'm going to do. Like, okay, Cobra sitting here drinking Nikolai vodka and raspberry tea. Wow. Ha. Definitely enough vodka in that drink. I'm going to sip on that casually throughout the rest of the evening. But if you're a moderately attractive male to a moderately attractive female, and you can't get sex from the opposite sex, and every partner you have is a psycho bitch or a fucking asshole male pig, eventually you have to realize that maybe it's you. That sure, the people you're dating aren't the best options, but eventually you think to yourself, maybe it's me. Maybe I gotta pick better dating partners and stop being so goddamn fucking assholey to it. But I'm like, you know what? At this point, I'm like, you want to keep being an asshole to each other, keep doing what the fuck you're doing, because I don't give a shit. If people are too stupid to figure it out, it's not my job to babysit or police people and how they treat each other. I'm just sick and tired of all the bullshit in our society, and I'm sick and tired of the system we live in. And all I want is world peace. Regardless if I find the goth chick in my dreams, regardless if I get the clock tower dream house in my dreams, regardless if I win the lottery or become like the next big rock star, you know, because there are more important things in life.
Your comments below, I read them all. I am probably reading them right now as you type them. Wait, don't write that. No, you can't say that. No, it doesn't matter if it's with an A. If you like this video, please...
Oh, I can't say that? Hey, showing head, you sexy MILF. Quit policing my speech.
Subscribe, and if you can, donate to me on Patreon or leave a little tip with the little tip jar down below. I'll give it a little...
I would donate to Shoe on Head if I could afford it, but my money is pretty strapped at the moment because I'm planning for my next sandwich food hack, and I'm planning to save up for a cheap iPhone so I can get back to doing cameos and just doing my thing, you know. So, but yeah, check out Shoe on Head. Oh shit, I dropped my lighter. Whoopsie daisy.
It helps the channel, and I appreciate it so much. And I will see you guys again soon with a new video. A new slop video. Because I know you gremlins love that shit. Bye!
That sounds healthy, Cobra. You sound like just like Doc Holliday with your smoker's cough. And I'm like, and your points? No, I agree with pretty much everything Shoe had said in that video. I'm not just saying that because she's a pretty MILF. But it's very refreshing to see a woman who actually cares about men's rights. Because the second a man tries to care about women's rights, it's benign sexism. He's just a simp. He's just trying to get down her pants. You know, and I'm sitting here like, what if he actually cares because no one cares about his rights? Alright, how long is this video so far? 3 hours long, for fuck's sake. Ugh. I took a 29-minute video from Shoe Head and made it into a 3-hour fucking video response. As I said, I'm very opinionated, and I have a lot of strong opinions that might come off as controversial. See what I did there? I'm like, fuck it. You know what I should do? I should chug the rest of this drink combo and just finish off this video properly. We might have got some like thunderstorm action at the beginning of the video. That thunderstorm was loud and bright. It's like, oh, yeah. I made a lot of controversial points in this video, but I wasn't trying to offend anyone. I was just trying to make a point. If it's gender reverse, you would fucking hate it. Treat others the way you want to be treated. That's pretty straightforward. What it boils down to is that women and men and just people in general need to be nicer to each other because there's not enough love in the world, YouTube. Ozzy Osbourne's Dreamer, not to spurg and quote one of my favorite singers, but without each other's help, there ain't no hope for us. It doesn't matter if your higher power is Allah or Jesus or Satan or Buddha or whatever or Vishnu. You know, without each other's help, there ain't no hope for us. I'll catch you later.